Team have left the field. Kilkenny and Offaly coming up later on, but right now we're in for an exhibition of set dancing. This is the Bun Brosna All-Ireland score winners from Westmeath.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a very good perch we have today.
So then, the Bun Brosna set dancers from Westmeath, All-Ireland score winners. Now we leave them because, as is traditional on All-Ireland final day, a presentation is made to the Jubilee team. Well, this year it's a little bit different, as the All-Ireland winning captains of the last 25 years are honoured. See how many of these names and faces you can remember. The last 25 years, Pete Finnerty, not a captain listed there, but nonetheless we've seen Joe Connolly and of course Conor Hayes, which was more in your era, the Galway captain.
Yeah, Conor was our captain in 87 and 88 when we won the All-Ireland, and I suppose there was never a question of anybody else being captain. He was just kind of a fatherly figure for us. We had a young team that came along all together. And
yeah, it was slightly different in Galway than some counties. Galway picked their captain
on merit,
from
yeah.
the panel,
we don't pick it from the winning county finalists or the people who represent us in the All-Ireland series. It's picked by the selectors and the management, and they decide who's the best leader. And captaincy doesn't always suit people. I was captain myself, I remember, in the past, and I couldn't really handle it. It took too much. I felt that I had to do too much on the day.
Yeah.
Conor was as cool as a breeze. He'd saunter into the dressing room and he'd be as easy going as somebody that wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
But when Conor spoke with 5 or 10 minutes to go before the game, the hair stood on the back of your neck and the adrenaline started flowing. He was a great captain.
Okay, hurling captains, all hurling greats, many of them. They're gathered here at Croke Park today and about to be introduced to the crowd by Micheál Murahurthy.
Come out onto Croke Park. At Tosnuwer Haven alive with Desha, we introduce to you the Kilkenny captain of 75 All-Ireland champions, Billy Fitzpatrick.
What a wonderful forward he was, Billy Fitzpatrick here, the first of the Jubilee captains.
76 was the start of a Cork 3 in a row. The 76 champions captained by Ray Cummins.
He was such an elegant player.
All-Ireland medal winner, senior,
and of course a member of the team of the Millennium as well.
He was followed in 77 by a man who travelled from San Francisco today, Martin O'Doherty.
The great fullback, formerly of Colosh to Rí, of course, as well, hurler and footballer. He was a real star.
The 3 in a row in 1978 was Charlie McCarthy.
The great Charlie burst on the scene in 1966. Cork won the All-Ireland that year for the first time in 12 years.
Initially in 1979 it was Kilkenny again and Ger Fennelly.
Member of the great Fennelly team, produced so many stars, so many wonderful hurlers.
After the long wait since 1923, it was Galway's turn in 1980. The captain on Captain Joe Connolly.
Such a great player, such a great captain. And what about the speech he made in 1980, perhaps the most famous of all?
For Offaly in 1981, the captain was Pádraig Hoden.
A very proud Offaly man. There's the big cheer from the Offaly fans, giving vent to their emotions.
The Kilkenny captain of 82 is unable to be here. You'll understand why. Brian Cody was the captain in 82.
So Liam Fennelly taking over this particular responsibility.
He's already come out. That was Liam Fennelly, who captained Kilkenny in both 83 and 92.
Two big cheers for Liam.
The only man that ever accepted the old and the new McCarthy Cups. On to centenary year in Thurles in 84. Cork's win, the captain John Fenton.
Still remembered, I think, for that fantastic goal in 1987 against Limerick.
Is an absentee. Well, his other business at the moment was Offaly's year. Pat Fleury was the captain. He's not here. His other business as well. Arriving initially in 1986, it was Cork again, and Tom Cashman the captain.
They beat Galway that year. He was a very popular captain of Cork.
For Galway in 87 and 88, the one-man captain both teams, Conor Hayes.
Well, you heard Pete Finnerty talk about him there just a little while ago. Great leader.
89 after a wait of 18 years, it was the turn of Tipperary, led by Bobby Ryan.
The great Bobby Ryan played at one stage at full forward, but perhaps better known, of course, as a wing-back.
The hurling captain was Tomás Mulcahy.
The scorer of that wonder goal against Limerick in the Munster final in 92. Did he throw the ball from one hand to the other? I think he did.
Again in 91 to the turn of Declan Carr to lead them.
Good to see Declan back again, of course, brother of Tom Carr, manager of Dublin footballers nowadays.
Eddie O'Connor.
Huge cheer. Famous for his after-match speech.
Offaly with that great finish, Martin Hanamy.
Martin Hanamy, they could do with him today. Niall Claffey will play in his spot.
A double captain coming next, captain of Clare in 95 and 97, Anthony Daly.
What a captain. What an era. What glory days he and his colleagues brought to us.
For Wexford in 1996, the captain was Martin Storey.
Martin Storey, Liam Griffin's captain, back in 1996.
Offaly for number 4 in 1998 under the captaincy of Hubert Rigney.
It's a great shame he can't play today. He's out, and of course Joe Erity plays at number 6.
Cork in 1999, Mark Landers.
The last of the captains, Mark Landers from Killa in East Cork, captain last year.
The captain in the past 25 years as the Kilkenny team come onto the field.
Yes, those are the captains of the past, as you can see for yourself. Kilkenny very anxious to get on with the fray here on All-Ireland final day, already out on the pitch and getting ready for the team photograph. Let me just refer back to the captains. Pete Finnerty, we saw Rowan Tomas involved there, and obviously you remember the day that he captained Cork.
Yeah, I have sad memories of Tomas playing 86. He went along and he scored a goal, and he came along in 1990 and he repeated the dose to us. We had great difficulty in stopping him. He was a good centre forward, and he put the head down and he tore that goal, and he scored a peach of a goal on both occasions. And in 1990 in particular, we were 8 points up, I think, at one stage in the second half, and it just shows you what can happen in an All-Ireland final. We were cruising, and suddenly we were sitting in the dressing room afterwards, and we wish we were hung. Going back to Liam's speech earlier on, but it just shows what can happen in an All-Ireland final. It's never over until the fat lady sings, and the same thing will probably happen again today. Offaly are not going to lie down as people think, and Kilkenny 3-1 on favourites. They're not 3-1 on favourites. There's no such a thing as an All-Ireland final. It's 3-1 on favourites.
Looking back at something like the last 10 meetings between these two teams, it's pretty much even Stevens between them. So what's going to happen today? Well, all is going to be revealed very shortly. Our match commentary team, Liam Griffin, whom you heard earlier on, and hello again to Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Yes, it is a fantastic setting. It really is wonderful. And there's the man who's been in the news for some time, Brian McAvoy. Would he play? Would he not play? I had a chat with him about an hour ago. I wasn't 100% sure that he was certain that he could last 70 minutes, but let's wait and see what eventually happens. Well, Kilkenny announced one change in their forward line, as we know, and there was always that major doubt about Brian McAvoy. Nothing to worry about in the backs, however, where Willie O'Connor has come back to captain this team, featuring two pivotal players playing in their first All-Ireland finals. Their fullback Noel Hickey and centre-half Eamon Kennedy. Brian McAvoy has come through that fitness test, and so he plays in midfield. The change in the forward sees John Hoyne get the nod over Stephen Graham. He joins a most effective half-forward line, while that firm of Carter, Carey and Shefflin simply rattle up the scores. And the substitutes for this afternoon for Kilkenny, and of course among them there will be Stephen Graham, the army man who has been omitted from the starting 15, but of course nowadays you can play 5 subs at any stage. Sean Mealy is in there, he's a full-back. Paddy Mullally, of course, played against Offaly in last year's Leinster final. And of course there's Canis Brennan as well. He'd be coming in for his 17th championship match. So Kilkenny going through their warm-up. Meanwhile, it's the turn of Offaly. Kevin Keenahan going through. Joe Dooley playing today in his 50th championship match. Brendan Ward, the county board chairman, giving them a little pat on the back. A little bit of encouragement. Huge support here for Offaly. OK, so they lost in the Leinster final, but they've got their chance. And they're back here again, looking for another All-Ireland victory. Joe Dooley is 36 years of age. What a career this man has had. Tremendous career. He's got 7 Leinster hurling medals, you know. Hit 3 points against Cork. As I say, he's 36 now, and today it's, well, it's his 6th All-Ireland final. But the story isn't just about Joe. It's about all these wonderful hurlers ready to provide us, I hope, with a match to remember. John Troy is back, as you can see. He missed the semi-final for his own reasons. The subs are in there with the team starting this afternoon. There's John Troy just on the left-hand side of the subs. What a sub to be able to bring on. And there is Joe Erity, started his career as a goalkeeper in the minor ranks. Offaly, the Leinster runners-up then, and later conquerors of Cork, name an unchanged formation, no surprise there. To date, Simon Wheelahan is having a season to remember, while it's a first final for Niall Claffey, the left corner back. Joe Erity anchors a highly talented half-back line, while in midfield, Ger Oakley did enough in the semi-final to retain his place alongside Johnny Dooley. In attack, Johnny Pilkington plays his 40th championship match in a forward line of match-winning possibility. It contains two other highly experienced practitioners, Michael Dignan in the right corner and Joe Dooley, playing today, as I say, for the 50th time for his county. That is some record. And a quick check done on Offaly's substitutes, and as I mentioned, John Troy is back. There he is, number 23. They've also got Barry Wheelahan and of course Claudy Mulhare. He'll be playing in his 17th championship match, and a lot of other talented players as well, ready to bring in if they are required. The match referee this afternoon, and that is Willie Barrett. He is 47 years of age. It's his second All-Ireland final. He refereed the 1994 final as well between Offaly and Limerick. His umpires, incidentally, are Richie Boyle, Mike O'Mahony, Sean Barrett and Dennis Whelan. They rarely get a mention. They're getting one today. And there's Brian Wheelahan. What a player. Hurler of the year in the past. And also, of course, a member of the team of the Millennium. Only current player, in fact, who's team of the Millennium. Brian Cody, one of the All-Ireland final winning captains. But where Kilkenny are concerned today, the one record he does not want to have on his portfolio or his CV, they do not want to become the first ever county in hurling to lose 3 consecutive All-Ireland hurling finals. It has never been done. Kilkenny lost 2 in a row in 45 and 46 to Tip and Cork, but they came back and they beat Cork in 1947. Liam, this is the line out. We've got Brian McAvoy playing. What are your expectations?
Well, I hope it's going to be a really good game, Ger. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's back door, front door, side door. Both of these teams are here on merit, and it's in the rules, so it's as good an All-Ireland as any All-Ireland from now on. So I hope we have a good game, and I think it's a fantastic achievement for Offaly to be here, given the size of the county and the hurling area in particular. And don't forget, to be All-Ireland champions, it's a huge thing for Offaly with such a small pick, and they're definitely here on merit.
Here on merit, we should have an absolutely wonderful game. Let's hope so. Well, the match has been watched everywhere and anywhere, of course. We've said hello to some people during the commercial.
All right, Joe, we'll leave Ger there for the moment. Just Tomas has rejoined us. Congratulations, by the way, Tomas. You look very well down there, I have to say. Also look very well in the little video clip we had of you as well.
Thanks very much. Makes me feel young again, you know. Makes me feel very young again.
You were just making the point.
I use another word now, not young. Yes. I was making the point to Peter that when I saw that clip, you know, just looking around for Peter, I think he was about 30 or 40 yards away from me that time, Peter. You were kind of left behind, I think.
No, I don't remember that. Yeah, I'll put it this way, you were lucky I was 30 yards away. You wouldn't let me do it.
Listen, it's Kilkenny and Offaly we're concerned about for the next little while here. Looking at the Kilkenny team, Tomas, down the middle of the field, Noel Hickey, Eamon Kennedy, John Power, obviously these guys, it's probably stronger now than it was 2 years ago against Offaly.
Yes, and the likes of John Power has a lot to prove for himself today, number one, and for Kilkenny as well, on the basis that he had a very poor All-Ireland final last year, was taken off on Brian Cochran. And like, if John Power was going well, I think the whole Kilkenny forward line seemed to tick, and he's the man that's breaking the ball around the centre. He's putting the low balls into the DJs and to Charlie Carters, and they need a very, very good game from him. And the likes of Eamon Kennedy as centre-back as well. Yeah. A lot of people in Kilkenny maybe question his selection as a centre-back, like where is Pat O'Neill gone all of a sudden and things like that, you know. So sure. He's got to live up to his reputation today, and a big performance for him, I'm sure, would help Kilkenny to victory.
By contrast, Offaly the last day were all over the place for a while in some of the same positions, we say Kevin Keenahan and Joe Erity, but impressively they steadied themselves and they hurled themselves out of trouble, Pete.
Yeah, Kevin Keenahan was having a nightmare in the first half, and most managers would have taken him off, and most people say Offaly would have taken him off as well if they had an immediate replacement for him, but they didn't have anything on the subs bench. But Kevin came out in the second half and he had a stormer, and he was one of the main reasons why Offaly turned around against Cork that day. Joe Erity has a huge game to play as well, and as Tomas says, and rightly so, John Power is so important to this Kilkenny forward line, because if Power starts breaking ball and holding the ball in the middle of the field, he'll create all the chances for DJ on the inside lines.
OK, Sean McCaig and the President of Ireland, Mary McAleese, now about to be introduced to the crowd and to the teams.
Yes, Her Excellency President Mary McAleese is here. ready to be introduced to the two sides. The so-called Ortcorla section is on the far side of the ground for this particular year. I'm sure this time next month it'll be across here once again, the Hogan stand, which has got about 7,000 people in it today. And so the president goes down straight away to be introduced to the Kilkenny team, and their captain, of course, is Willie O'Connor. There's Charlie Carter there. A match which has been witnessed all over the world, and of course we send our greetings to everybody and anybody watching in far-flung lands, and remember in particular the Irish Army who were serving in the Lebanon and in Kosovo as well, including the chaplain in the Lebanon, or rather in Kosovo, was in the Lebanon, Father Owen Tyne. Hello to you. There's Willie Barrett. It's his 5th championship match of the season. Introducing his umpires as well. And that is his brother there, by the way, being introduced right now. Johnny Dooley will play in midfield, introducing his team colleagues, starting with Stephen Byrne. She'll know Brian Whelan, of course, Joe Erity, because the president is a wonderful sports fan. We've seen her attending matches right, left and centre all over the country. Darren Hannafy about to be introduced. Gary Hannafy, his brother Darren, is in Honduras working with the wonderful team representing Goal at John O'Shea's great sports charity. There's Joe at the very end there, Joe Dooley. Played his first All-Ireland final back in 1984. So the presentation's complete. Sean McCaig, GAA president there, accompanying President McAleese. Her husband Martin there in the background, left-hand side of the picture with the AIDACOM. So up they go into the new Ortcorla. Taoiseach is up there, of course, and many other dignitaries as well. This is the new Hogan stand. We're on this particular side of the green boxes. As I say, about 7,000 to 8,000 people are here on this particular side this afternoon. So, the parade of the teams, and Willie O'Connor leads Kilkenny. And of course, Johnny Dooley is the captain of Offaly. Sadly, his father Sean died some months ago. He would have loved this moment to be here to see his most talented son, and sons, of course, because Joe is his brother, perform here. But he was a real inspiration for his family. It's a packed auditorium. Very, very few spaces left here. Liam, tense moments.
Yeah, tense moments, but a wonderful day. I think the atmosphere is good. The weather conditions are perfect. Hopefully the rain stays off. Offaly will depend very much on their full back line today to do a massive job. Brian Whelan is their inspirational leader, and he will have to lead by example for sure. Apart from their big guns like Johnny and Joe Dooley and Johnny Pilkington, there are less established players like Niall Claffey, Ger Oakley and Gary Hannafy. And together with John Ryan, they will have to deliver really big performances today if Offaly are to win.
I'm thinking in terms of Kilkenny's inside forward line. I mean, what an inside forward line. DJ Carey, Henry Shefflin, Charlie Carter. Wonderful players.
Yes, absolutely fantastic. But the one thing that they're going to have to make and keep room for them, they need room to perform. And John Power, if he can repeat his Leinster final form, will help get that lethal full forward line going. Now, Brian McAvoy may not last the full game. He was Kilkenny's man of the match in the last 2 All-Ireland finals, and he'll be a big loss if he can't survive the game. But Kilkenny's own full back line will also be asked serious questions. Philly Larkin also has had 2 difficult games in the last 2 games, and Kilkenny will need Philly to perform for sure. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to Kilkenny full forward line and the Offaly full back line. How will that pan out? That's going to be probably the killer area of the game for both sides.
And also Gary Hanafy there up against Eamon Kennedy. Do you remember how influential Gary Hanafy was against Cork?
Yes, and I mean, if you look at the start of the Leinster final, he had an exceptionally good start. But in fairness, Eamon Kennedy got to grips with him at a later stage. So you'd think that the 2 of those might have an equal tussle, but it will be a very key battle as well.
When you were here in '96, right now with about 5 minutes to go, could you settle down? Could you relax? Could you enjoy it?
I did, and we set a target to enjoy ourselves, and I mean, this is a very special day in Irish sport. It's one of the great days of your life, and I think you should approach it on the basis that it should be a happy day. I think if it gets so tense you can't perform. I think if teams get too tense they can't perform. I think if managers get too tense they can't perform. Very important that everybody has a good attitude and stay relaxed.
Well, there is Pat Fleury, of course, alongside Ger Coughlin there, and Brian Cody. Looks a bit tense at this stage. Who can blame him?
Yes, Ger, but I mean, the point is this, that a little bit of tension is good, but what more can you do when you get to an Ireland final? All the work is done, nothing changes. So it's all down to the gods performing the day.
Well, Kilkenny with 1 win already this weekend. Michael Duxey was got Kilkenny's All-Ireland weekend off to a good start, winning his 15th, a record 15th All-Ireland softball singles. That's in handball last night here in Dublin. Offaly have won the toss, I can tell you. They will play from Hill 16 for the opening 35 minutes. There's Simon Wheelahan. Kevin Keenahan had a bit of a nightmare in the opening 35 minutes against Joe Dean in the semi, but how he came good for the second 35 minutes, showed his character.
Ger, on the parade around the pitch, isn't it a wonderful spectacle? It's so unique for our particular game, and I think it's a treasure, and it really is something special, and it's great for everybody to see those players parade around in front of them.
The parade ends, the players break. There really is a full house at this stage, which means about 60,000 people are in Croke Park, which is remarkable in its own way when you consider that where we are working here right now today, hoping to enjoy the match, is still part of a building site and will be complete in about 12 months' time. So Kilkenny go into their lines, Offaly into a huddle, and before the action there will be our own Navia. And the Artane Boys Band. Paul, a real hurling fan, I met him in Thurles at Munster Championship matches on a few occasions. So Offaly wondering, can they get another All-Ireland title? Remember, Kilkenny have 25 so far, Offaly 4. Brian McAvoy's in midfield there alongside Andy Comerford, and it is Ger Oakley in the gold helmet and Johnny Dooley, his captain. Dennis Byrne and John Hoyne have switched wings. The referee, Willie Barrett, his 5th championship match of the season. And of Offaly's matches so far this year, they've played 4. He's refereed 3 of them. So Willie Barrett gets the match underway. It's the 112th All-Ireland hurling final. Johnny Pilkington, Offaly playing from left to right. Willie O'Connor the Kilkenny captain, down towards DJ Carey, coming out, getting good quality ball, laying it off neatly. Dennis Byrne whipping on it, and that ball has gone just to the right. Byrne playing across there at right half forward in a switch with John Hoyne. Hoyne will be number 10. So Stephen Byrne about to puck this one out, playing in his 17th championship match. Broken down by Philly Larkin to Andy Comerford. Down towards Charlie Carter, no chance in the world of getting that one. He's been marked this afternoon, Charlie, by Niall Claffey. John Ryan hoping for some decent ball in there. He's in against Noel Hickey, Noel the farmer.
That was a quick ball by DJ to John Hoyne. I would have settled him down probably if he could have tapped that over the bar. It's a good pass and unfortunate miss.
It's going to be Niall Claffey from Barr who will hit this one. Great club. Up towards Hannafy. Won by Philly Larkin. Team still pursuing the first score of this match. Henry Shefflin. Simon Wheelahan close to him, not close enough. Good work by Kevin Martin. Dropped into the inside forward line towards Michael Dignan. Not a great ball. Outside towards Andy Comerford. Over there chasing after this Brendan Murphy. Still Comerford. Charlie Carter races in after it. Claffey is there for company. DJ Carey going across. Kevin Keenahan. And the referee deciding that it's a free in for Kilkenny. Kevin Keenahan adjudged to have fouled DJ Carey. What a task he's got this afternoon. So will this be the opening point of the match? Henry Shefflin about to take it. Going across here to Dennis Byrne. Better angle. Good choice. Great point.
Clever point. Very difficult angle. Picked his man out very well.
Dennis Byrne, man of the match, of course, in the semi-final win against Galway. This is where Shefflin picked out the loose player, and Dennis Byrne had plenty of latitude. Pressure now on the Kilkenny backs. Broken down by Eamon Kennedy. Gary Hannafy getting it in there. Inside towards Joe Dooley. Pressurising Michael Kavanagh. Andy Comerford trying to roll it up onto the stick. Ger Oakley there. Belted into space, only as far as Kennedy. The centre half back gets it way downfield towards John Power. He's going to have a tussle in there, you feel, with Joe Erity. But Power wins this one. Kevin Martin tries to close it down. Erity is the number 6. Dennis Byrne appealing as well, but it's going to be a sideline ball for Offaly. Well, you think about the past 20 years and what a wonderful 20 years it has been for Offaly in particular, but in that space of time, Kilkenny have exactly the same number of All-Irelands as Offaly, 4. So Claffey will hit this one. Had a fine debut against Wexford in the championship. Up towards the centre half forward, Gary Hannafy. It breaks loose, however. Still they try to get that ball forward. Stopped. Kennedy driving it downfield. Back once again it comes. Philly Larkin in here to intercept. So just 1 point in the match so far. That credited to Dennis Byrne.
Philly Larkin has started off much better in the last 2 days. He really seems to be fired up because he had 2 particularly bad days. So it looks promising for Philly at the start.
I think he really needed to up his performance. Here comes Andy Comerford. In towards Henry Shefflin. Ready to take off, ready to cut loose. Falling, striking, but putting it over the bar. Henry Shefflin from Shamrocks. And Kilkenny had made the best possible start. He was on his knees when he hit that one eventually. Taking off here. Down he went. But over the ball went. So now it's the turn of Offaly who look for something from their forward line. Kennedy whipping on that one. Philly Larkin again. Getting it out as far as Andy Comerford. Kilkenny beaten the last 2 hurling finals. Charlie Carter looking a little bit disappointed. It's Charlie's 22nd championship match. Top scored indeed against Offaly last time they met. Pat Fleury, who remembers great days playing against Kilkenny. Niall Claffey in no particular hurry. Helicopters overhead. Ger Oakley had such a good semi-final. Up towards Joe Dooley. It beats him, however. Not so Philly Larkin. Back in towards Henry Shefflin. 3 against 2 in there. Claffey fumbles. DJ's on his way. DJ Carey. Great goal. Only 6 minutes gone. DJ Carey was anticipating, showed lightning pace and a dashing finish. He didn't score, of course, in last year's final. But here he is in the early stages of the 2000 final, making sure. That was as emphatic as they come. He had support, he didn't need it. Hoyne was close, but the ball sprayed in past Stephen Byrne.
That's another wonderful DJ goal. You know, it's easy to say, it's easy to criticise, it's easy to be, he should do this, he should do that. This is an All-Ireland final within 6 minutes. He's a brilliant goal in the back of the net, placed right in the corner. That's superb skill and it has to be admired.
Johnny Dooley about to hit this one, looking for the first point for Offaly, and he puts him wide. That's a bad miss.
A surprising miss from Johnny.
Just to make sure that the scoreline you saw there, it is 1 goal and 2 points to no score.
Incidentally, Gerard, that goal is off DJ's left. The last 2 matches were off his right. Doesn't matter which way they fall.
And certain experts tell us he's not a good player. This comes back to Kevin Martin. This is really putting it up to the faithful county right now. Eamon Kennedy. Caught by Martin once again. Dennis Byrne was challenging. It wasn't an effective challenge. Willie O'Connor there. Michael Dignan. He's an experienced performer. Can he lead the way? Comes out once again to John Ryan. Joe Dooley looking for a point just to settle down Offaly, and he's got a beauty.
That is a magnificent point. I mean, that's as good as DJ's goal in terms of execution. And this man, Gentleman Joe, a wonderful player. That is an extremely good point.
Look how far out he was. Look, Andy Comerford was after him, trying to close him down. Very awkward angle, and he still made it.
Yes, and he's able to strike the ball any side, up and down, at any height, and that's just an incredible piece of skill.
James McGarry pucking this one out. Cousin of DJ Carey, of course. Philly Larkin pressing forward time and again. Oakley getting it out. Up it comes towards Michael Dignan. Willie O'Connor's there as well. Peter Barry close at hand. Here comes Michael Kavanagh. Young player. Down towards Andy Comerford. Battling in there with Ger Oakley. Picked up here by Brendan Murphy. He's a really pacey player, but that's Brian McAvoy. First time we've seen him in the match. That'll do his confidence a lot of good. Here they come with John Hoyne. Surprise choice inside for Henry Shefflin. Berrigan and goal again. Stopped on the line, and it's in. DJ and Henry Shefflin were close at hand.
Seemed to cross the line, Ger, perhaps.
May well have done, and it's 2-2 to a point. Did Henry Shefflin get it? I think he may well have done so. Let's look again before DJ got the touch to it. I think it had gone over the line. The credit will go to Shefflin. A goal after 9 minutes. 2 goals in 3 minutes.
That was an extremely important win by John Hoyne. John Hoyne made that goal. He beat his man and made the play.
Here comes Shefflin once again. Won't come up from this time. Simon Wheelahan is in there. This is a terrible start by Offaly. There's DJ, and there is another score.
What about that for a point, Ger? What about that for a point?
He's not a bad young player, this guy.
He'll do, I think.
He'll be 30 this year, you know, DJ Carey. Here he comes off. Wheelahan unable to get in the block, and that's over the bar.
You know, it's got to be said, I'm surprised it's amazing that they have left Henry Shevlin be marked by Simon Whelan. I mean, before this game, he was murdering the last day. I mean, this is going to change this whole game. I can't believe they've left him on him.
That was his goal. He went over the line. It was kicked out by Claffey, but it had crossed the line. There's a change of the marking. Simon Whelan is now switching across, and Claffey is after going on Henry Shevlin.
But to be fair, I mean, against Offaly and against their structure before the game, this was on the cards, let's be fair. And they got away with it in Joe Dean, but this was on the cards today, and it's a surprise. There's no question it's a surprise.
Is this going to be a very one-sided final? That is the worry. Eamon Kennedy. Brian McAvoy, and the referee is calling aside. One of the players seems to be Eamon Kennedy. And his name is going to go into the referee's notebook, and there will probably be, and indeed there is, a yellow card.
I mean, Offaly are a proud county, and this team is a proud team. They have got to dig deep and battle back, and they have done it in the past, and hopefully they can make a game of this. It's going to be very, very important for them now.
Johnny Dooley's missed one already, but this is from closer into goal, and he pops it over the bar. And the captain gets his first point of the match.
Gerard, to be fair to young Simon Whelan as well, I mean, he's giving serious height and strength advantage to Henry Shevlin. And I mean, it's a serious task to ask him to do that job. And obviously it's proved difficult.
Dennis Byrne trying to break that one down. John Power is in here, but it's Brendan Murphy once again. Test now of Offaly's renowned character and fighting ability. Eamon Kennedy on for Power. Beyond DJ Carey, Kevin Keenahan is around. Here comes Henry Shevlin. Lovely pick up by Charlie Carter. Carter chased there by Simon Whelan, and that's gone over the bar. Everything is going right for Kilkenny. Everyone in the inside forward line is now scored.
He said it'll be the key, Gerard. It's 2-3 for that line in something like 9 minutes, is it?
Yep. Well, 12 minutes gone at this stage, but this is sensational scoring. They look so determined. Ger Henderson there, one of the selectors, along with Johnny Walsh and Brian Cody, of course. Michael Duignan. Johnny Pilkington playing it in here. John Ryan tried to nurse it inside. Joe Dooley was around, but it's gone wide. Well, it was interesting, that goal there that we saw a little while ago by Henry Shevlin. I think Simon Whelan was probably caught in no man's land. He was coming to try and cover Brian Whelan, his brother, and just got caught badly. Pat Fleury, Ger Coughlin, Pat Cleary as well, of course, on the left-hand side there. Scored a great goal in the 1985 final. McGarry. Here's Brian Whelan. And Hoyne is in there to do a job on Brian Whelan. Just trying to disrupt his normal fluid action. Ger Oakley out by Johnny Pilkington, up towards Joe Dooley. Gary Hanafy can't lift it up. This is Joe Dooley, the one man who might give them leadership out there. Here comes Peter Barry. A very, very good wing back, Peter Barry. Not a great clearance, only as far as Johnny Pilkington. Racing by Willie O'Connor, the hand pass inside for John Ryan. On the end line, and stopped by Willie O'Connor, and it's gone for a 65.
Just quickly, Ger, on John Hoyne. John Hoyne has been an exceptionally good underage player, brilliant for Kilkenny in under 21, a big, strong, hardy lad. He will cause plenty of problems for Brian Whelan, there's no question. But I think Offaly might prefer from high ball to John Ryan, because he certainly has advantage as well over Noel Hickey in terms of height.
Johnny Dooley to take the 65. They need everything at this stage, and he's got another one. Point from a free, a point from a 65, and it's 2-4 to 3 points.
Need
Still a long way to go.
Need an Offaly goal.
But there is a long way to go.
The comeback kids.
You wouldn't bet against them with 5 minutes to go.
Absolutely no way.
Ger Oakley rising up for this one, got the stick to it. Only down as far as Brian McAvoy. Beyond DJ Carey, Simon Whelan. Neat pick-off, he's pushed by Charlie Carter, free out to Offaly. Shake it ahead by Charlie, but I think he knew that he was guilty in that instance. There he goes, little push, down you go, and Simon Whelan winning the free. up towards Gary Hannafy. He's really got to get up there and catch those balls as he did in the semi-final against Cork. Back to Johnny Dooley. This should be James McGarry's, it is. Noticing the positioning of Peter Barry, stepping away from, well, attempting to step away from Johnny Pilkington. Johnny committing the foul, free to Kilkenny.
Offaly are going to need people like Johnny Pilkington now, and Joe and Johnny Dooley, and these people to really dig out a performance for Offaly.
Peter Barry's free, down towards John Parr. Comerford is here, Oakley. John Parr, whipped away by Johnny Dooley. Beautiful turn by Michael Dignan, but can he get it on his stick? He's been held, and it's a free into Offaly. Jersey was being tugged, the referee has said. So a chance of another score. Willie O'Connor has had his number recorded by the referee. Just moments ago, Johnny Pilkington also had his number taken. Johnny Dooley, 2 points so far. He's got yet another. All the Offaly scores have been scored by the Dooley brothers.
That was a beautiful piece of skill by Michael Dignan. He flicked the ball around Willie O'Connor. Michael Dignan got enough supply, and Offaly were going well. He could do damage.
Johnny Dooley is going very, very deep to try and collect the puck outs here. Johnny Pilkington drifts back as well, picks up Brian McAvoy. But a lot of the puck outs are favouring the right half forward position. Here comes Kevin Keenahan. Belted back in towards Gary Hannafy. Joe Dooley, good ground stroke. And beyond John Ryan, however. And the goalkeeper says, let's take it nice and handy. We'll go for a puck out. 17 minutes gone. Going nicely for the Cats.
Still a goal that turned this around big time, Ger.
Well, Joe Dooley's goal, I think, in the Leinster final, second half of that, that's the only one that's beaten James McGarry so far in this championship. That was Joe Erity. Gary Hannafy leaving it behind to Eamon Kennedy. Back it comes again. Brendan Murphy, partly blocked. Here's Philly Lockett. Hand passed outside to Andy Comerford. Dropped in towards Henry Sheffield, being marked by Niall Claffey. Claffey drops it down, but there is Brian Whelan. Johnny Dooley, not a great strike. Brian McAvoy picks out his man here, who happens to be John Hoyne. And John Hoyne drops it in, but only as far as Stephen Byrne. Michael Dignan was anticipating, he's got it. Lovely hand pass ahead, Johnny Pilkington. One man who certainly could cause problems to the Kilkenny half-back line. Willie O'Connor, standing firm. Here's John Ryan, lovely turn, beating Peter Barry. The hand pass inside to Pilkington, dropped it at the most inappropriate time, and it's whipped wide. And it's wide by Michael Dignan. He can't believe it. That was the best goal chance that Offaly has had so far. The result of a lot of good work here. John Ryan inside, dropped down, Pilkington in, and Dignan flashes it across the goal mouth area.
He'll be disappointed with that miss. He'll be disappointed.
That's a big miss. That's a very big miss.
It was just what Offaly needed was a goal there. It would have brought the game right back to a 3-point game.
But at least it will give them enormous encouragement to feel that the task can be achieved this afternoon. Inside towards Pilkington. Joe Dooley was coming onto it. Pilkington there still. Back towards Michael Dignan. Space. Good ball in. Here's John Ryan. And James McGarry is held inside. Free out to Kilkenny. Good goalkeeping.
Still, you get the impression if enough high ball goes into John Ryan, he's definitely going to cause a lot of problems in there for Kilkenny.
Kilkenny have gone and taken the foot off the accelerator, as they say, in the last couple of minutes.
Dangerous against these people, Ger.
McGarry's free towards Andy Comerford. John Parr coming through from centre half forward, back to Comerford. They look for another score after a couple of close shaves at the other end, and Andy Comerford puts it over the bar. It's his first point of the day, and he makes it 2-5 to 4 points.
you'd have to expect that Gerard Oakley has made very little contribution yet for Offaly, and he's going to have to get to grips with Andy Comerford, because it's certainly causing problems for Offaly in midfield.
He's doing well in midfield there alongside Brian McAvoy, who was the great injury worry in the build-up to this final. Here's Johnny Dooley. Willie O'Connor racing out first time, beating Joe Dooley to it. Brian Wheelahan, very commanding at right half back, getting away from John Hoyne into Ger Oakley. Stopped there by Joe Dooley, picked up here instead by Brian McAvoy. Here comes Oakley again. Ger Oakley coming to life at midfield, sending it in, but sending it to the right. It's a bad miss. That's 5 wides so far for Offaly. That's a lot.
That would have settled him down, actually. He just had a good little passage there. That would have helped him enormously if he could have got that point. He should have done, really.
Oakley at midfield alongside Johnny Dooley. McGarry playing in his 8th championship match. Again going to that right half forward position. But it's Andy Comerford. Stopped here by Kevin Martin. In towards Joe Dooley and John Ryan. James McGarry once again knocking it back into the centre of the field. Brian McAvoy. Well, he's done very little training in the last couple of weeks because of that shoulder injury, but the referee decides there's going to be a throw in between John Dooley and Brian McAvoy. Free awarded to Kilkenny. We must keep a close eye as well this afternoon, Liam, on the puckouts and whether or not the goalkeepers go outside their small rectangle.
Well, it mightn't matter as much since the pitch is that bit longer now, Ger.
Here comes Dennis Byrne. Nicely taken. Joe Erity settling down well at centre half back. Out by Niall Claffey to Johnny Pilkington. Intended for Brendan Murphy, but Philly Larkin's having a good first half. Here's Charlie Carter racing across there as well as Simon Wheelahan. That's the change of marking, of course, from the last couple of minutes. Andy Comerford coming through, and the referee saw there was a foul there. Kevin Martin doesn't agree, the linesman stepping in quickly, but it is going to be a free into Kilkenny. This is what happened here. Again, difficult to see where there was a foul there.
A dubious foul, Gerard, to be fair. I think Kevin Martin, it looked to me to be a fair shoulder.
It'll be Henry Shefflin to take this one, a goal and a point so far to his credit. And he's put up between the posts. He's enjoying his final here, and so are Kilkenny, leading by 2-6 to 4 points. Offaly need a goal, quickly. Gary Hannafy going up with a stick this time. It breaks through, stopped by Michael Kavanagh. Willie O'Connor, the captain. Towards DJ Carey. Dennis Byrne instead. That's Simon Wheelahan whipping it back into midfield to Ger Oakley. Just about managed to pick that one up. Follows it through himself here. Stopped by Brian McAvoy. Support play over here from Brendan Murphy. Johnny Dooley, 65 metres out. It's one they could have done with. Big time.
We haven't seen Brendan Murphy yet because Philly Larkin is having a really outstanding first half on him, but Brendan hasn't been the kind of light he has been for the last few matches for Offaly.
What about a switch at this stage? Would you switch Brendan Murphy, say, into the inside forward line?
Well, I mean, it's hard to think because Michael Dignan is a big trump for them inside. John Ryan is as well. Joe Dooley they want to bring out, I'm sure. So I think they'll persevere for another while.
John Hoyne breaking this one down. Here's Johnny Dooley. This is stopped here by Eamon Kennedy. Referee whistles against him.
Very difficult decision that. You could have given it either way.
There are a number of baffling decisions in this match.
Sure, Eamon Kennedy feels hard done by in that one.
It's Johnny Dooley who will take the free in any case. That's the 65-metre line, the Offaly 65-metre line, so it's a long way out. And he's put this one over the bar. 4 points now for Johnny Dooley, all of them from frees, including a 65, but that was a huge one. And they keep in touch.
Actually, Gary Hannafy has gone to the inside line to play full forward, which again they're looking for height, and they brought John Ryan out on Eamon Kennedy, who is having the better of it at centre back at the moment.
Again, the puck out, familiar direction, down to right half forward, down as far as Dennis Byrne. Cross towards John Hoyne, beating Brian Wheelahan to it. And the goalkeeper taking absolutely no risk.
To be fair, I think Kilkenny have gone a little bit flat since their whirlwind start. They seem to have the same bite since they got that good start.
This is towards Michael Duignan, but it's stopped instead by Peter Barry, the left half back. Brian McAvoy. Just over Brian Wheelahan's head, but he still manages to go back. This most accomplished defender. Wonderful player. Cross towards Brendan Murphy. We know he's got pace if he can get moving. There's great vision. Oakley having some difficulty. 2 against 1. Here comes Andy Comerford. Kilkenny coming forward again. Michael Duignan's chasing back there, the corner forward. It's blocked in the end by Brian Wheelahan. Hand passed outside here towards Johnny Dooley. Huge one in towards Gary Hannafy. The goalkeeper making the save and the clearance. Ger Oakley seems to be calling for this one. Brendan Murphy loses his stick, he's dragged back, and it's going to be a free in.
To be fair, that was a fantastic flick by Joe Erity that time when Kilkenny looked to be through for another score, and it's resulted now in a free for Offaly, which should go over the bar. So full marks to Joe for a quick flick.
And once again, their familiar free taker will come across. This was that piece of defending a little while ago. Brian McAvoy is going off the Kilkenny team, and it seems to be Canis Brennan who's coming in. As suspected, he wasn't anywhere near 100% fit, and it's Canis Brennan from Connacht Shamrocks who comes in for Brian Cody's team. Dooley. Nicely taken. He's got 5 points out of Offaly's tally of 6, and his brother Joe has got the other one. And the rest of the forwards need to get moving, otherwise his team are going to win this All-Ireland.
Canis Brennan is a huge addition for Kilkenny as well, because he was brilliant in the last 2 All-Ireland finals. Now, he hasn't played any match, but I hear he's going well in training, and he will not be found wanting for heart, I can tell you that.
Offaly's inside forward line has been completely restructured. Only Joe Dooley remains from the starting 3. Johnny Pilkington and Gary Hannafy have now moved in there. Michael Duignan is out at right half forward. Meanwhile, Charlie Carter leaving this one short. Johnny Dooley out to Michael Duignan. Not a great ball. Impossible for the forwards to take. Always favouring the goalkeeper. Brendan Murphy dropping it down. Peter Barry. About 6.5 minutes to go to half-time. Joe Erity stepping into the breach. Over towards Johnny Pilkington. It bounces off his hand. Good work by Eamon Kennedy. He's had his detractors, but by goodness, he's played well in this final. John Hoyne, superb in training. That's Brian Wheelahan. In towards Joe Dooley. Michael Cavanagh's come out to follow him. John Ryan. Here's Johnny Pilkington. They need some more scores. Can he provide it from an almost impossible angle? Great point by Johnny Pilkington. Sometimes seen as the joker in the pack, but my goodness, he's serious about his hurling.
Brilliant piece of skill. Beautiful strike of the ball. That's a difficult angle.
A really difficult angle, and the Offaly fans here in the new Hogan stand, as it's taking shape, feel they're in with a chance. The margin is down to 5 points. Henry Shefflin seems to be turning on his left-hand side, inside towards John Power instead. Dennis Byrne, lovely skill, very creative player, very assured, lovely strike. That's his 2nd point. So 2 goals between them again. But this was Dennis Byrne at his very best, turning beautifully, and a sweet strike.
Dennis Byrne is exceptionally fine hurler. and he's got his 2 points.
Michael Duignan winning that puck out, but dropping it down then. Canis Brennan's after him. Now pursuing Johnny Dooley. That's a fine strike, or is it? No, it's just got inches to the right.
Unusual for Johnny, he normally gets those.
That's 7 wides now for Offaly against just 2 for Kilkenny. The goals have been most significant. DJ Carey after 6 minutes, Henry Shefflin after 9.
Johnny Picklin has gone into corner forward, I suppose because Peter Barry's playing so well, and Michael Duignan has gone out.
Brennan. Brian Wheelahan back to Kevin Keenahan. Billy Larkin, that's a lovely catch with his left hand, and then players coming to assist. The 2 other wing backs were there to help. Niall Claffey stumbling as he was making his way out there, but there was no foul. Kevin Keenahan watching the player on the ground, who appears to be DJ Carey, and there as well was John Hoyne. It'll be a throw ball. 4 minutes to half-time.
The surprising thing, Jerry, is the Kilkenny full forward line has started to come out a lot more than they were earlier, and they're killing their own space. It's surprising.
It was all working so well for them for the opening 10 minutes, but they've had this gap over Offaly all through the first half. Joe Erity contesting with Henry Shefflin, and here comes DJ Carey. DJ Carey, saved, and it's whipped in the end, and it's another goal, and it's Charlie Carter this time. 3 goals in the first half, scored by each and every one of the inside forwards. This one coming after 32 minutes. DJ was racing forward. That's a great strike, good save, but punished by Charlie Carter from the goalkeeper's angle. And who would be a goalkeeper in a match like this, with DJ coming in, then Charlie? He hadn't a ghost of a chance. And on top of that, behind them, there were 2 men with white coats. They say you want to be nuts to play in goal. It's been a great first half by Kilkenny. Here's Philly Larkin. Are they on the verge of destroying Offaly in this match? They've got a 9-point or 3-goal lead. Andy Comerford. Everybody arguing their point over there. It may well be a throw ball from the linesman. It is. John Power hitting it in towards Henry Shefflin. Will they get another one? He had DJ outside him. John Hoyne was calling for it. They've got this one wide, however. It's their 3rd wide of the first half.
Bad wide by Henry Shefflin. He should have been a lot more out of that ball.
Here's DJ again, powering his way through. The keeper did so well, but great anticipation by Charlie Carter. Here he is racing through once again. It was a great stop.
I've been accused of being overboard about DJ Carey. I have absolutely no apology to make to anybody anywhere in this universe.
Here he comes again, touchdown by Henry Shefflin and popped over the bar. A goal and 2 points for DJ Carey.
And I'm not so sure it's not 2 goals and 2 points, by the way, Jerry. I mean, that ball may not have been over the line. I think he might have got a touch on it. I'm not sure.
Well, I think Niall Claffey may have kicked it out.
But however, he's been involved in all 3, Jerry.
He's been involved in every one, quite right. Here comes Peter Barry.
Who's having a brilliant game.
They close him down once again, but he still has this self-confidence and assurance. Joe Erity doing well against John Power. Offaly will be heading into the dressing rooms in a couple of minutes' time. They really will have to come up with a game plan for the second half. Claffey. About a minute to go. Brendan Murphy. Philly Larkin loses the stick. Eamon Kennedy coming in here, playing his best game of the championship so far. Roughing it in beyond Charlie Carter. DJ coming out for it. There too is Simon Whelan. And that is going to be a sideline ball for the Cats.
Offaly have to get a goal to keep this game alive, and it certainly would make a big difference at this stage, but they have to get one to keep this game alive.
What is interesting is that Offaly have created more chances than Kilkenny in this first half. They've created 18 scoring chances. Kilkenny have created 15. But
Ger,
Kilkenny
how
have
often
taken
have we
11.
heard that goals win matches?
Yep.
The Offaly half-forward line are not getting enough ball in.
But you recall the semi-final Offaly against Cork when Cork went for too many goal chances when there were points there for the taking and hit a load of wides. So that may be a worry for the Offaly management heading into half-time, because at half-time they are well behind. They trail in this match by 10 points. 3 goals scored by DJ Carey, Henry Shefflin, Charlie Carter, and it's 3-8 to 7 points at the half-time break. Offaly have a huge amount to do in this match to keep it alive for the second 35 minutes. Well, we'll be interested to hear what they have to say on the sideline after that first 35 minutes. Let's go down to Marty Morrissey.
Ger Coughlin, Offaly have problems, particularly dealing with Charlie Carter, DJ Carey and Henry Shefflin.
Yeah, the full forward line are causing us major headaches in there. We every time we seem to be getting going, they get a goal on us, and we're getting back into the game there after about 15 minutes. Nicely back into it again, they got a goal again, which is causing major problems for us.
Ger mentioned in his commentary there that Offaly are creating more scoring chances actually than Kilkenny.
Yeah, well, we have missed a lot of chances. Up front we've got a lot of chances and we've missed a lot of chances, and if we had taken our chances we'd be much closer to them.
We'll see what happens in the second half. Thank you, Ger Coughlin. Ger Henderson, a great start. Your full forward line are really match winners.
Ah, yeah, I was delighted for DJ that he got the start, you know, and we were playing well and we're dictating things, and hopefully we're expecting a backlash from Offaly, and you know, we're not underestimating. They'll be coming out with a big performance second half, so we're prepared for the worst.
Well, we look forward to the second half. Thank you, Ger Henderson.
Yes, DJ has been brilliant. Kilkenny have been rampant. We will have first half analysis with the panel after this commercial break.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have your attention please for 1 minute? We're going to be live with the big screen at the back of those 16.
1000 All-Ireland hurling final. Now, much buzz around the stadium here after what we've seen from those 35 minutes. A look at the statistics will tell us just exactly how the situation stands at half-time in the All-Ireland final. We'll have analysis coming up after that, but that's the scoreline. First of all, Kilkenny flying it in the first half. 3 goals and 8 points, Offaly 7 points. Not too many frees in what was a fairly free-flowing first half. Kilkenny have had just 3 wides, 7 for Offaly. They'll rue those, 165, and just the 1 yellow card that was against Kilkenny's centre-back, Eamon Kennedy. Now, Pete Finnerty and Tomas Mulcahy have been watching that first half with me. Pete Finnerty, obviously the 2 goals earlier on for Kilkenny, they really set the scene for them.
They started in blistering pace. Kilkenny have been quiet all week. There's been very little about them. They're very focused. They got into their game earlier on and straight away into the full forward line, and they got the return of 2 great goals. Here we see the first round coming up. There was a long ball from Philly Larkin that was fumbled by Niall Claffey, and who better to latch onto it only than DJ, and he gets an opportunity like that, bearing down and goal. There's nothing that Stephen Byrne or anybody can do across. Straight across the goalkeeper, bang, back of the net, great goal. There we saw the fumble by Claffey, unlucky not to catch it, so the full back line have been under pressure straight away. Simon Whelan has struggled as well on the other side.
Here's the second one, Tomas.
Yeah, it's great play by Young Han, and inside to Henry Shefflin. We'll see would it go over the line from here. It seeped across the line, but DJ was very, very quick to follow up and makes no mistake. Again, great play by Han to see the awareness of Shefflin.
The umpire went for the flag here.
Yes, it seemed to be over the line, and the umpire went for the flag first, you know, so I think you made
Let's see this.
Yeah,
no,
hold the ball.
Ball is not over the line.
Hold the ball. DJ will be claiming that one, I think.
DJ will be claiming it. But what I like about this full forward line, Michael, every time they get in possession and they take on their men, their heads are down and they're heading for goal. There's one thing on the back of their minds all the time, is the back of the net, you know.
3 goals and 5 points in the first half. Pete, Michael Duignan had a great chance of a goal for Offaly. They need a goal in this match.
He had a brilliant chance, and it came at a time when Kilkenny were only 6 points ahead, and had Duignan got that goal, you felt that Offaly might have had some chance of coming back into this game. Here we see John Ryan did a lot of work for this ball. It breaks across. I think that's Quickleton that gets it in. And Duignan in front of goal. He should have at least called for a save of the goalkeeper.
And you would expect Michael Duignan to get that.
You would. He did all the right things. He pulled first time, but just didn't get an opportunity to look, and it just breezed by the goal. Had they got that, it would have been down to 3 points. The heads would have been up again. They'd have lifted a little bit. As it turned around, they didn't. Kilkenny went down and got 3 more points from play, and they found themselves 9 points down as against being 3. Nothing has gone right for Offaly yet in this half, and Simon Whelan got caught out here earlier on, and they had to switch him, and Brian Whelan hasn't really been in the game, but their centre-back, surprisingly enough, Verity is doing extremely well on John Power.
John Power's been kept very quiet, but Charlie Carter's goal has been a real killer punch for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mean, it's what we've said all week, and people have said in the past, like Kilkenny have this knack of getting goals, and goals will win the big matches for you. And
DJ was brilliant here.
Oh, he's fantastic, and I mean, it's a great pick-up. His first touch is superb, and great awareness again inside to have the shot. Great save by Stephen Byrne, but like it's typical corner forwards goals. You must be following up the play all the time. When the ball breaks out, it's finished into the back of the net. But it's great play by DJ, and DJ maybe would have had maybe sleepless nights this week thinking about the All-Ireland final, but I'm sure last night putting his head on the pillow, he would have dreamt of his first touch today and putting the ball into the back of the net, and it's a confidence factor for him now, and I think he'll go on and he could be the match winner now for Kilkenny in the second half.
Well, they're 10 points ahead at half-time, but it is only half-time. Let's remind ourselves about that. The second half coming up after this commercial break.
Selectors, Brian Whelan has gone to corner forward, and of course Michael Dignan has switched with him and he's gone back to wing back. Well, Brian scored 1-6 in the 1998 All-Ireland final when they moved him up to full forward. Can you repeat that feat? Well, there's not a doubt in the world Offaly needs scores quickly, and Johnny Dooley's down there injured. Peter Barry has had his number noted by referee Willie Barrett. Johnny had 10 shots at the target in the first half. He scored 5 frees, including a wonderful 65 and one from even farther out the field.
I didn't see what happened, Ger. I was looking at Brian Whelan taking up position at corner forward, but Johnny seems to have a serious head injury.
I think he was fouled by Peter Barry. Peter Barry had his number taken. You may just see it here. There you are. They crashed into one another. But what about this change now? Here he is, up corner forward. Can he work the oracle?
You actually predicted this at half-time, Ger.
I told you
so
that.
You are the oracle. But yes, I mean, what else have they got to lose? Michael Dignan is as good a wing back as Brian has been today, and I think they've strengthened their position. They have to take a bold move. It is a bold move, and he is capable of getting scores. So, you know, it's the right thing to do, and a good decision by Pat Fleury.
Otherwise, I think they're going to be beaten out the door. First 10 minutes of the second half are going to be highly significant. If Kilkenny can keep their focus, as they say, and get some more scores, then it's difficult to see Offaly being able to come back.
It is, but Kilkenny are going to have urgency right throughout. They can't afford to slacken for a minute, because Offaly are capable, if they get a goal, to come back again. But you can't keep going to the well, I suppose, either. So sooner or later you get caught. But it's early days. A goal by Brian Whelan would lift his team significantly. 2 goals by Brian Whelan, and we have some serious ball game.
We had a little shot there a while ago of DJ Carey, who had such a good first half, scoring a goal and 2 points. And we have made the point in the past that it's rather surprising he wasn't on the team of the millennium. Have they announced the subs yet for that team, Mother?
No, but I hear he has a reasonable chance of making the subs. Johnny Dooley.
They need something here. That's a great catch by Philly Larkin. He's having a remarkable game. They chase after him. John Ryan's trying to flick it away from him. Here's Larkin. And he is fouled unceremoniously.
A very heavy tackle, shoulder stuck in him.
Ger Oakley, the player who's being spoken to, didn't have the best of first halves, and right now he has incurred the referee's displeasure with a yellow card.
But Ger, to be fair in hurling, this goes with the territory a lot when you're coming out with a long ball. Fellas will meet you up. It was unfairly, but fellas will meet you up coming out with a ball like that, and Philly Larkin knows that too. But he's having a magnificent game, Philly Larkin, and full marks to Brian Cody. A lot of people would have criticised him severely if Philly didn't turn up trumps, but he's doing it today.
Philly Larkin today hoping to win the family's 10th All-Ireland medal. All the way in, but all the way out as well. And now Offaly are about to make a personnel change. It's time to bring on a man who might just turn it for them, John Troy. They need something special. It will be his 32nd championship match. Philly Larkin again. This time Brendan Murphy looked around, had Joe Dooley as an option. Murphy taking it in past one man, he's then fouled, and Philly Larkin is going to be spoken to by the referee for that.
Philly Larkin chopped very severely on him at that stage.
It was as Brendan Murphy was going in that the foul was committed by Larkin. and he's got himself a yellow card. So that's two members of that half-back line who've now been booked. This is it again in reprise. Oof.
Yeah, there was a heavy tackle. He was taking him out. There's no question about that, Joe.
Johnny Dooley needs this. There are 3 goals between the teams. Johnny Dooley has got 6 points. But the Offaly fans hoping for something special. John Troy still about to come in. Taken off in the quarter-final by Pat Fleury and his selectors against Derry.
Now, Ger, Brian Whelan and Joe Dooley are inside as a 2-man full forward line. John Ryan is pulled out forward a bit.
John Powell wins it. The hand pass outside to Charlie Carter. Coming back from Ger Oakley to make a bit of space. And he knocks it in beautifully. What confidence, what style, what class. Charlie Carter now with a goal and 2 points. And that is from 3 shots on the target. Every one of the inside forward line now has scored a goal and 2 points if we give the goal to Henry Shefflin, and there may be a doubt about that. They need to get John Troy in very quickly. Here comes Gary Hannafy. Sent in beyond Brian Wheelahan. In tried towards Joe Dooley. Joe can't take it up. Instead it's Willie O'Connor, the 33-year-old captain. His brother Eddie, of course, was captain back in 1993, the last year that they won the All-Ireland, beating Galway that day. Still they battle. And this time it's going to be Kilkenny's possession. Nobody in a particular hurry to take it, mind you.
Offaly were bringing on John Troy a second ago, and now he seems to have sat down again. It's surprising.
Well, he's still across on the far side of the field. This is Michael Kavanagh. Gary Hannafy. Canis Brennan just tangling with him, and that's going to be a free in for Offaly. This is where he was going away. There's Canis Brennan, and down he went, and Canis Brennan has his number taken. Free to Johnny Dooley. Just look at the spread of scores. He's got 6 points. Johnny Pilkington 1. Joe Dooley 1. Nothing else anywhere else. That's one more. So again, 3 goals the margin. Those 3 goals from the first half, and there's John Troy, made his debut against Kilkenny back in '92. Joe Erity driving it down. He was the full forward with these teams last met in the All-Ireland final. Scored a goal and 2 that day. John Powell. Nicely forward for Andy Comerford. Great lockdown by Ger Oakley. Comes back, he goes by. Clappy got the block down. This very formidable half-back line of Kilkenny excelling. Peter Barry dishing it inside there. Kevin Keenan lets it spill away from his stick. Hoyne was coming in. Dennis Byrne is there as well, and Dennis Byrne puts it over the bar. It's like one of those days, everything they touch is going over. They've got a winning look about them.
But somebody's going to have to mark Peter Barry. I mean, he's let just come out there at will, and he's dominated the first half.
Well, it should be Johnny Pilkington. It's his man.
Well, Johnny's got to do a job. He's just have freedom of the park at this stage.
That's a great catch by Andy Comerford. Still they delay Offaly in bringing in John Troy. On towards Henry Shefflin. Back there defending Kevin Martin. Hoyne going through. Referee following up with the play. Nicely taken up by Michael Duignan, the number 13 who's now playing at right half back. Johnny Pilkington trying to get the better there of Peter Barry, succeeding. Gary Hannafy sending it in towards Joe Dooley. Joe, nice little flick ahead. Brendan Murphy strikes and puts it over. An impressive point by Brendan Murphy from Ballyskinner in County Offaly.
That's his first score today, and in all of the other games he's been making a major contribution. but Brennan has been quiet by his standards this year so far.
Another switch in the back line for Offaly shows Niall Claffey. Third man that he's had to mark today is Dennis Byrne. He's come out to left half back in a switch with Kevin Martin. Martin now looks like he's on Henry Shefflin. Here's John Power. Lots of switches, lots of changes. Same old story, however. Kilkenny, the dominant team. Kevin Martin comes across here. Kevin Keenahan. Little flick outside towards Ger Oakley. DJ Carey chases after him in vain. Peter Barry across there. Now Johnny Pilkington's got loose. Possibilities here for Offaly. Willie O'Connor putting in the challenge. He's the first man. Then it's Kennedy. Backs out towards Hannafy. And Hannafy strikes it over the bar. Couple of good scores in the last few minutes. But a lot for Offaly still to do. Johnny Pilkington did really well, picking out Gary Hannafy, and the man from Burr struck it over the bar.
Offaly are not dead yet, not by a long shot. Kilkenny will start worrying if they get a goal to turn this whole game around.
It would be some miracle, I have to say. And I remember 1994. So does everybody in Limerick, I'm sure, as well. It's asking a lot of them. There's Charlie Carter. And that has gone to the left.
You'd wonder if Charlie should have kept that ball alive. You know, I mean, at this stage you play every percentage ball you can get. The mistake-free game gets you matches, and having pot shots may not be a help.
And David Franks is the one who's coming in as substitute here, first of all, for Offaly. And Niall Claffey is going off. Franks coming in to mark Dennis Byrne. Claffey makes way. David Franks' fourth championship match, made his debut against Wexford. All the way down towards Gary Hannafy, but it's picked out of the air this time by Eamon Kennedy. He's held back, and it's a free to Kilkenny.
He's done a very important job today. Gary Hannafy was man of the match the last day, and there's no question Eamon Kennedy has given him a, you know, he's winning the battle.
He's showing us what he's made of this afternoon. He's responded to all the pressure. Striking this free himself, but putting it left. Again, there was an opportunity for him to have dropped it in there with such a dangerous inside forward line. Now there's a big roar.
This is a crucial time of this game now. If Offaly can get a goal here, this game could turn around, there's no question. Kilkenny haven't been getting scores now. John Troy has gone on. A goal for Offaly now would certainly turn this game back around again, no question.
So John Troy is going in, and I think it's going to be John Ryan who makes way. John Ryan off. John Troy in the action.
And he owes them a big game, Ger. John Troy owes Offaly a big game. Today's the day to go and do it.
There are about 23 minutes of this final remaining. Offaly needing scores. Meanwhile, it's John Hoyne. Inside towards Charlie Carter. That's won well by Simon Wheelahan. Comes out towards Ger Oakley. Good work in there. Determined work by Dennis Byrne. Here comes Franks. David Franks played in the quarter-final, of course, against Derry. John Troy, first touch. Philly Larkin back there, pressurised by Brendan Murphy. Under intense pressure. John Troy, that's blocked in there. Troy gets it back, does well against Noel Hickey. A race here involving Michael Kavanagh and Brian Wheelahan. Back to Joe Dooley. It's a low one. Joe had the chance of getting a point that time, but Willie O'Connor instead takes it down, whips it away into midfield. Michael Duignan breaking it down to Johnny Dooley. Spooning it back outside there. Joe Erity, half blocked by Canis Brennan. That's enough. Once again, it's Peter Barry. Likes to raid, but instead it's John Hoyne, in fact. But I think what he did was he threw the ball up to himself.
Yeah. I mean, this is getting a little bit for Kilkenny. They're worrying. There's a lot of fellas trying to play a lot of individual hurling now, and that's probably not so. There's a lot of men outside him that time.
This is what happened just a little while ago here, and he ends up fouling the ball, and the referee was very close at hand. 3 touches of the ball in his hand that time, not allowed. Johnny Dooley dropped in. This is Peter Barry. Hand passed out to Eamon Kennedy. showing good composure. Out to Canis Brennan, the army man. It's a huge one, down towards Henry Shefflin. Can they get another one here? Henry's in, and Henry has scored!
I was just about to say, Canis Brennan is demanded and given quick and early ball. He delivers his first big ball back of the net. That's a great goal by Henry Shefflin. Never took his eye off it.
It could turn into a rout. This All-Leinster All-Ireland final. That was a huge ball by Canis Brennan. It was a beautiful delivery.
No hands, just bang.
Henry Shefflin was anticipating, and he got the better of the back and goalie and kicked it in.
This is what inside forwards need, is fast, quick ball. Fellas soloing around at the middle of the field are useless to inside forwards most of the time.
And there is an injury to Stephen Byrne, but this is where Henry Shefflin got goal number 2 for the day. If we give him the one after 9 minutes, which was, we think, at least I think, scooped from behind the line ever so slightly.
Gerard, I'm going to disagree with you. I think TJ got that goal and we'll allow that one to Henry Shefflin. But it doesn't matter, they're goals and that's all that matters. But that's, you know, they haven't been given fast inside ball. That's the first fast inside ball they've been given. And Canis Brennan did what all good midfield players and half-backs could do. Pick and strike with no hands, give him a quick ball. Some fellas say you need a low ball, but I think you need a fast ball. A fast ball is more important than any kind of a low ball. Quick is what inside forwards like.
Well, another change is about to be made by Offaly, and they're still worried about Stephen Byrne down injured. So the little slip of paper is delivered, and the player who has come into the action is Paddy Mulher, who of course played in the semi-final matches, those exciting semi-final matches a couple of years ago against Clare.
Gerard, you know what we said before the match is coming through. The Kilkenny inside forward line had to be stopped. It hasn't.
This was Henry Shefflin's goal. This was Canis Brennan with the most exquisite delivery. Beautiful timing, great run inside, and Kevin Martin simply couldn't stop Shefflin coming through, and the goalkeeper went down injured. So it's Paddy Mulher who's come on, and Brendan Murphy has gone off.
I mean, to be fair to Philly Larkin, we have to recognise this, because Philly Larkin was criticised by ourselves and by everybody, and he was a surprise choice. But he's rallied back because he'd come out from cornerback to get used to the space at the wing back, and it took him a while to settle. But he comes from a fantastic family, a great tradition, and he's had a wonderful game. And in fairness, Brendan Murphy's only a youngster, and he's done very well this year. But Philly Larkin deserves great credit for his performance today.
Difficult task for Pat Fleury right now. The goal simply flying in.
Poor Henry, poor Stephen Byrne. I mean, it's not a happy day for him in that goal. It's not easy for him. It's not easy when your full back line's under so much pressure.
The ball simply raining in front of him. Nothing they were able to do about it. Gary Hannafy rising up for this one. Kennedy in there again. Stepping out, however, to take it away is the man who's ever assisting his centre-half back, Peter Barry. This time pressurised. Brian Wheelahan getting it forward. John Troy has got into full forward, by the way. And the referee signalling that it's going to be a free out to Kilkenny.
Peter Barry is having a huge game in the half-back line.
In the past, whenever Philly Larkin's been in trouble, or Eamon Kennedy in trouble, any of the matches this year or last year, Barry's been the man who's gone in there time and again and done a superb job.
Well, their entire half-back line are playing very, very well today. I mean, Offaly are having serious problems with their half-forward line trying to break that half-back line down.
McGarry, that's a huge free. Up towards DJ Carey. Breaks down, however, to David Franks. Pursued the whole time by Charlie Carter. Can't get his shot away. Lovely pick up, Dennis Byrne. Hand pass straight into Ger Oakley. That should be a Kilkenny ball. Kilkenny simply did not want to be beaten. They didn't want to go into history as the first team ever to lose 3 successive All-Ireland hurling finals. Bad one by Comerford. Reaches Dennis Byrne. David Franks pursues him. Smashing. Lovely score. Really, from the word go, they have looked winners, victors the whole way.
Offaly look out of their depth. There's no question about that.
Here's Dennis Byrne. Quick little turn, getting away from Franks. Easy as you like. This one runs on towards Brian Wheelahan. Chased by the Kilkenny captain, Willie O'Connor. That's a free.
It's surprising too that they put him on Willie O'Connor and not at full forward on Noel Hickey. Willie O'Connor won't be overawed by Brian Wheelahan. He will relish the chance of stopping him. Whereas Noel Hickey would have felt, he's only a young boy, he'd have felt a lot of pressure on him. And I'm surprised they didn't put him on Noel Hickey and give him a bit more space and at full forward.
Johnny Dooley will take it. And that has gone wide. It's not looking good for Pat Fleury and his backroom team. And there are many thousands of supporters in a crowd of about 60,000 here at Croke Park this afternoon. Only 15 minutes are left. Joe Erity in there against John Power, runs on beyond them, however. DJ Carey, known as the Artful Dodger, to his pal John Hoynes around as well. Philly Larkin back here, chased by Paddy Mulhare. Little balancing act there by Philly. This is John Power. He knew he was in for a very tough afternoon against Joe Erity, who gives nobody anything lightly. Simon Wheelahan, Charlie Carter belting it forward. DJ Carey showing good pace, taking his man out of position. He's held. The referee has awarded a free to Kilkenny, but he might have given them an advantage because DJ had possession. There wasn't too much doubt about this here. Kevin Keenan was dragging him back by the jersey. DJ was scampering away. So Kilkenny's free taker, of course, Henry Shefflin. Nice work.
To be fair to Kevin Keenan over the years, he's had a good record on DJ because there's not too many people can handle this man. And Kevin Keenan is having it tough today, there's no question. But it's stemming from out the middle of the field.
Well, DJ has scored one goal this afternoon, may have got a second, which would bring his tally up to 30 goals in championship hurling. Incredible record.
Yeah, and his detractors have said he didn't play well in All-Ireland finals, and I don't know whether that's fair, but you know, only for DJ, Kilkenny mightn't have been in several All-Ireland finals.
They don't always see his workload either. Yes. I mean, he really works very hard. His work rate is very considerable.
And unlike a lot of forwards, he's very unselfish and gives a lot of ball to his other players and brings them into the game.
Brian Wheelahan spreading it inside there towards Johnny Pilkington. He's lost his stick. Kilkenny not losing their way. Comerford stopped by Simon Wheelahan. Two men after him. Charlie Carter is one of them. David Franks in to help his number two.
Johnny Pilkington is a big disappointment for Offaly because they would need him to be inspirational, but he's been everywhere now. He's now moved into left corner forward. Now I know he doesn't like training and he hasn't got a great draw for it, but you know, it catches up on some days, and he needed a big performance to help Offaly big time today.
Here comes Ger Oakley. Good hand pass across here to Johnny Dooley. Lobbed in towards John Troy. McGarry fumbles, comes up with it the second time. He's got support outside there, Peter Barry. And a relieving clearance by the number 7. Johnny Dooley goes across, but it breaks to Canis Brennan instead. The substitute for Kilkenny. Now John Power, good shoulder, waiting for John Hoyne to arrive. John Power and Johnny Dooley and one or two others. It gets a bit hot and from an Offaly point of view frustrating.
I think John Power started that myself. I think he was a little bit wiry and decided he wanted to have a go, and he went off the ball in fact, and in fairness John Power is responsible for that incident in my view.
This is it again here.
See, you know, if that's what's known as being up for it, I think that's the new modern terminology to use for that, Ger.
So John Power is about to get himself a yellow card. And Michael Dykeman as well. So Kilkenny with 3 yellow cards, Offaly with 2. Gets one back after 24 minutes of the second half. Let's see what happened.
A good catch by Johnny.
This was Johnny Dooley floating it in from the free. And watch for Johnny Pilkington coming in, great catch, trying to step away from trouble and kicking it in. A resourceful goal by the very experienced Offaly man.
Can they get another quickly, Ger? This is the answer.
It's his 6th goal in Championship hurling. Second time I think he scored in an All-Ireland final. He scored against Clare, as you remember, in '95. Andy Comerford to take the sideline ball again, not a particularly good one. Reaches John Hoyne. Man who replaces Stephen Graham. Canis Brennan. Miss-hit that one, really. Michael Dignan trying to come out towards Johnny Dooley, who really is very much the leader of this Offaly team. They look to him time and again.
Can they get another goal here, Ger? This would set this game alight for the last bit of it.
You remember '94, I guess.
Yes.
They had 9 shots at the target in the last 5 minutes, and they scored 7 times, 2 goals and 5 points. Incredible record. Up they go for it. Johnny Pilkington's fired up. He wants another, but it comes out instead to Andy Comerford, blocked down by Gary Hannafy. Peter Barry racing forward. Lobbed in towards John Power. Joe Erity's out quickly. Dennis Burns after him. Here comes Erity. Bad hand pass, always favouring Willie O'Connor. Trying to get away from Paddy Mulhare. David Franks balancing it beautifully on the stick like a conjurer. Dropping it in. Again, Offaly look for something. Johnny Pilkington. Here comes John Troy. Are we to be in for a great finish yet? Gary Hannafy. Offaly showing their spirit. Pilkington playing it back to Johnny Dooley. Little dodge away from Eamon Kennedy, and he knocks it over the bar. He's got 8 points in this match. 3 goals between them, but don't switch off just yet.
Need a goal from Offaly now. Will be making a great finish.
Johnny Dooley, 8 scores from 15 shots.
They need to raise their spirit everywhere now, Offaly. Everybody's got to fight for everything.
That's beyond Erity, but he's in battling against John Power. Power kicking it ahead towards Henry Shefflin. Missed inside by Kevin Martin. Shefflin once again. Very acute angle. That's a great ball out, but only as far as Johnny Dooley. Taken by Paddy Mulhare towards Brian Wheelahan. Willie O'Connor trying to close down the space afforded to him. After him is Peter Barry as well. It's Brian Wheelahan, and he's put it over the bar. 4-12 to 113. It ain't over yet. I must confess I wasn't giving them a ghost of a chance at half-time, but now here they are. This indomitable spirit that is Offaly hurling.
Another goal for Offaly now, Joris, what's needed for this game. And they are capable of getting it.
Johnny Dooley, 3 men alongside him, but all of them wearing Kilkenny colours. John Hoyne, inside towards DJ Kerry, stopped by Kevin Keelahan. The big man coming out as far as Joe Dooley, who's way out around midfield right now. 2 men inside. Here's John Troy. He lets it behind. They come again. Wheelahan's after it. Troy taking a gap off of his stick, can't succeed. Paddy Mulhare was into challenge. Eamon Kennedy trying to get it out, scooped up by Peter Barry. Here comes Kennedy once again. Ger Oakley, one-handed, away from Canis Brennan, down towards Gary Hannafy. The concluding stages of the first hurling final of the new millennium, and only 6.5 minutes are left. And here comes DJ on towards Charlie Carter. It's out of play. Close to getting their 5th goal. DJ was on his hands and knees appealing to the referee that he might have got something out of that.
This is a vital puck out, this one. This is a big puck out.
Joe Dooley loses it to Peter Barry. Johnny Dooley about to challenge. It's touched on the ground. It's a free. Free to Offaly. 6 minutes left.
He has to play it in.
Johnny bearing the scars of battle. What a very sporting match it certainly has been. Brian looks at his watch, still over 5.5. DJ has switched with John Hoyne. Johnny Dooley drops it in towards Brian Wheelahan. Hurley's reaching out for it. Here comes Eamon Kennedy. He's looked assured, he's looked very solid and dependable. Out to Johnny Dooley, this one comes, gets away from Canis Brennan. They need the ball inside, they need scores, they need something, but they get nothing.
That is very surprising from Johnny Dooley. That was a vital call in an All-Ireland final. It really had to be kept alive. You know, it was a serious risk to take. They just need a goal, they can't waste anything now.
Pat Fleury, the captain in 95, pacing up and down the line. And running up along the sideline as well, I've seen Brian Cody. Wanted to keep his side with their noses in front at all stages. But here comes Michael Duignan, kicking it to the centre towards Gary Hannafy, pulling on it, getting it back. Duignan going this way, that way, and the other way, and in the end it's a foul. He's taken far too much out of that. Loads of protests, but it certainly is going to be a free. Here he was, step, 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 and at the end a free.
A point from Dennis Byrne here, and it may be good night.
Dennis Byrne with 4 points in the match so far from the centre of the field. He puts it wide. 8 wides for Kilkenny, 9 wides for Offaly. Concerned Kilkenny fans, but my goodness, they've had a good afternoon. Their team has scored 4 goals and 12 so far, and that's put wide by DJ Carey. And Brian Cody has made another change. He has brought in Eddie Brennan into his team.
And this is another exciting Kilkenny player. Eddie Brennan is a very, very exciting young talent.
Player going off, by the way, is Canis Brennan. Eamon Kennedy back up towards DJ Carey, breaking it down. Kevin Martin comes racing out from corner back, where he's been positioned for most of the second half. Out towards Ger Oakley, towards David Franks. Names for the future. And Offaly will have a big future with a good minor team and a good under-21 team as well. And that time, Johnny Pilkington lost the stick, dragged back the defender, who was Michael Kavanagh. And the referee has once again noted his number. In fact, he's been noted already, according to my sheet here, so that should have been a yellow card, but all immaterial with 3 minutes to go, really. Here's Charlie Carter. And the umpires have a little look, and they're not quite sure. In the end, they give it. Offaly protest.
Down the end of that goal, it's very, very difficult to see down the end of that goal. There's so many nets and wires there. It is a difficult area, and I feel sorry for the umpires. If you go down behind that goal, you'll see how difficult it is. Now, this is crazy, really, isn't it?
Absolute confusion. It's not been allowed. It's wide. It was driven in. The umpires really hadn't a chance with this one because there's so little space behind the goal and the netting. So it remains 4-12 to 113. Kilkenny very much the masters. 2 minutes left. And that's also gone wide. That wide was by Henry Shefflin.
I mean, it has to be said, Offaly have given us great entertainment for the last number of years. They've been a tremendous team. Hubert Rigney was a huge loss to them today. You know, they've been wonderful. But today, they're just not good enough on the day. They don't have enough firepower for this Kilkenny team.
That was Eddie Brennan falling down over there. The clearance by Kevin Martin. Great catch by Michael Kavanagh. Tidy player. Doesn't often get the limelight, but he does a good job.
Yeah, he was pulled on there, there's no question about it. I mean, that's frustration, but it's not acceptable, but he pulled straight across them as far as I could see.
Well, Johnny Pilkington is going to be booked now, but the fact of the matter is, if the referee had been noting it earlier on, instead of being a yellow, it would have been a red.
Now, that's frustration. But to be fair, Ger, over the years, Offaly have been wonderful with the little resources they have. Some people have doubted them, but over the last 10 years, has there been a better team than this Offaly team when they've had a full pick? And in fairness to Pat Fleury, he's had a difficult job patching this team up. And as I said, Hubert Rigney is a huge loss to that team. And they can't afford to lose that many players. They simply just can't afford to lose them. They don't have the resources. All of the Offaly hurling is within a few miles of Burr. So they've been giving us tremendous value for the last number of years.
Well, it's not Pat Fleury's fault. He's done his bit. But this afternoon they ran into a Kilkenny thunderbolt, quite honestly. Kilkenny were not to be denied at the third time of asking. And Philly Larkin has been so impressive. Likewise, Peter Barry. In it goes. They look for a fifth goal. John Hoyne leaving it. John Parr was after it as well. Now Eddie Brennan trying to get it out towards John Parr in there. The match now, as you can see, in injury time. They come once more, and that's another lovely score. It's put over the bar. It's Eddie, is it DJ or Eddie Brennan?
DJ Carey.
DJ Carey, indeed.
But can I say as well, Ger, I mean, it's a fantastic Peter Barry, Andy Comerford, and these people have been tremendous servants to Kilkenny hurling. They've worked their butt off to try and win an All-Ireland medal, and this is their first, and that shouldn't be forgotten. They've been magnificent hurlers as well.
It's going to be Kilkenny's first title in 7 years. Nicely taken by James McGarry. Broken down to Andy Comerford. Simon Wheelahan trying to deflect it away. Here comes Eddie Brennan. Here's another one. It's all over now.
I told you he was a wonderful player. He was unlucky not to be on this team.
I saw him in the National League destroying a Kilkenny or a Tipperary backline down in Thurles. Here he came through. Wonderful pace. And a smashing strike way into the corner. And Stephen Byrne is beaten for the 5th time.
That's a DJ special.
It's curious, you know, Kilkenny have only created one more scoring chance than Offaly, 30 to 29. And yet they are running away with this final. There's another, and it sails over the bar.
Caught it on his back, Joe. He caught it on his back. Watch it, he just caught the ball hand past, he caught it on his back. I mean, that was an incredible point from DJ. I mean, this man is a world player for any sport. You can say what you like. You know, the great players of the world, Maradona's, Pele's, everybody. I mean, you know, you get these special players. And there's no question DJ is one of them.
And there are still so-called experts writing and telling us that he ain't that terribly good. The man is a genius. James McGarry saving this one. Linking up with Willie O'Connor. Now it's up to the referee to see how much time is left before Kilkenny get their hands on the Liam McCarthy Cup. Charlie Carter striking. That's a beauty.
Full credit to Kilkenny. This is exhibition hurling. And, you know, and it's just like they got out of jail there. They're starting to do everything now. They're so fluent.
The fans will enjoy this. Brian Cody has done it. There is absolutely no doubt in the world. They looked winners at half-time. And now the referee just prolonging the agony for another couple of seconds. But it's agony for Offaly.
But Offaly won't begrudge this year to Kilkenny either. Be assured of that. I mean, Offaly people have had great success and they won their All-Ireland 98. They won't begrudge this victory to Kilkenny at the end of it all.
This is stopped by Stephen Byrne. Peter Barry. Here comes Michael Dignan. The referee has played over 3 minutes of injury time. Johnny Pilkington. And it's Willie O'Connor who comes out minus the stick. Plenty of time to ask a colleague, Eamon Kennedy, to come and deliver it down the field. Joe Erity. Johnny Dooley dropped back in beyond Pilkington. Another chance, a late chance, and it's put over the bar. Over the bar by Paddy Mulhare. His first point. A 13-point lead for Kilkenny. It's every bit as emphatic as many people had feared. The referee has played 4 minutes of injury time. Hard to understand why.
He's enjoying the exhibition.
As a touch of the Leinster final second half about this. John Hoyne going through, Eddie Brennan. They try to keep him out. The referee's whistle goes, and Kilkenny have won the first hurling final of the new millennium. They've lost the last two, to Offaly in 98, to Croke in 99, but in 2000 they have won a most wonderful victory. Peter Barry dances around the place. The Liam McCarthy Cup is going back to the Marble City. Andy Comerford played his part in midfield. He fed ball after ball in to a most wonderful inside forward line, and they were equal to it. They scored 5 goals in all. 5 goals and 15 points to Offaly's 1 goal and 14.
Isn't it a pity, Ger, that the Kilkenny fans can't invade that pitch and celebrate that victory? I know I've gone on about it, but it's such a wonderful part of our tradition. It's as much as the parade around the pitch. It's a shame.
Let's go down to Marty Morrissey.
Brian Cody, congratulations. Well, you've done it. All the pressure.
Yeah, obviously there was an awful lot of talk about us being our third All-Ireland final. We didn't feel pressure because of that. I mean, we wanted to win the All-Ireland final. We got to the last two, proving that we were a very good team. Obviously we needed to win it for the players' sake, for the county's sake as well. But, you know, it's just a great feeling.
It was not just a win, it was comprehensive, it was flamboyant, it was Kilkenny at its very best.
It was a great win. I mean, we got the goals, we knew we had the players who could get goals, but I mean, you know, you don't always do it. And, you know, certainly the players just deserve every ounce of credit that can be got from this thing. Just said thanks very much to the players for everything.
I think there's a lot of credit due to the manager as well. It must give you great joy, having done it as a player, now you've done it as a manager in All-Ireland.
It certainly does, Marty, give me great credit. But quite honestly, yes, I said it to the players 2 months ago, the manager could go away and leave the dressing room and go home, because the players just worked this thing themselves. They were brilliant.
Well done, I'm delighted for you. Well done, Brian. Peter Barry, we almost had. Congratulations, Peter. Great win.
Great win, yeah. Our Jesus was unbelievably tough. I don't know what to say. I can't even talk at the moment. I'm just overjoyed. We put in 3 or 4 years savage effort, and today is what it's all about. But I'm here. I want to say hello to my grandparents, Maura and Piercy in Kilmagany, and the Flynn family in Slievru, and 2 friends in Australia, Joe and Liam, and my sister in Holland. I said I wanted the opportunity to have it now, man.
Well, you've done the family and indeed around the world. Just, Peter, about the match itself, I mean, it was that the full forward line in particular looked awesome.
We have to mark those lads in training, and it's a nightmare. You're going off the pitch, you're leaving in 2 or 3 goals a game off them, and you feel like you're going nowhere, you're not even able to hurl. But today they did the business and we're delighted. That's all we wanted. The problem.
I felt, Peter, when I was down in Kilkenny last week, that there was a lot of tension, a lot of pressure. The supporters locally were hopeful, but they were really worried that you would lose the 3rd All-Ireland in a row.
Yeah, sure, you have to be worried, but I think the way we focused on this match, we didn't even think about the last 2, you know. All we wanted to do was win this All-Ireland. We felt last year we left it behind us, maybe the year before, but definitely last year we left it behind us. No offence to Cork fans, but we didn't hurt ourselves justice in the final. This year we did. We went all the way. We said back in November when we started training, we had 1 goal, get back to All-Ireland, then we'll do the business. We did the business.
And Liam McCarthy is going to Kilkenny tonight.
I'm going to meet him now for the first time. All right.
Well, you go meet Liam. Well done.
Yes, the Liam McCarthy Cup is definitely going back to Kilkenny tomorrow. What a scene that will be in the city. I was in a certain establishment during the week waiting for something, you know, those waiting rooms, picked up a magazine called OK Magazine, full of beautiful people, and there was a picture of Graham Geraghty there, winner of the All-Ireland with the cup. That's the football cup, and in the magazine it was down as the San Miguel Cup, but there's no doubt about this one. It's the Liam McCarthy Cup, and it's heading back for the first time in 7 years. And this All-Leinster final, Liam, it may be the last time we'll have an All-Leinster final, because there are certain developments taking place, as you know.
Yes, and maybe that's not any harm at the end of the day, but maybe it won't be either, but there certainly changes are needed. But at the end, Kilkenny have won it, and it's wonderful for Kilkenny. You know, they have been out of the frame for a long time, and they deserved it. They deserved it.
There was no doubt in the world about it. Let's go back to Marty again.
Thank you, John Power. Certainly, you proved a point here today.
Well, sure, Marty, just a great feeling now, and it's just what we started out to do there before Christmas there. And some of the lads are saying there that the full forward line were on fire and they banged in the goals. That made a difference, but I wouldn't agree a bit with them there, because we had 28 there, and
We trained since last October in Hotel Kilkenny, and we swore there down in the parade last September that everyone had put in the effort there to bring the McCarthy back, and they didn't anyone found wanted at any stage, and that's what it's all about, and it's just a great day to be standing in Croke Park.
Well done, congratulations, Chuck.
Tá fáilte róba légus tí an seo inniu, agus na súlagam go bhaid seachtainachas an chluthe. Bhhailm sa bhhuichas a ggóáil leis na Cornea League a ghlach páirte mórtas imánaíochta im léana. Comáile sin freisin, tasí mu a bhhuichas a ggóáil leis an réiteór agus na réiteóirí a League, na muir líne agus na muir cúl, agus na daoine a League a bhí páirte a hí reachtáil an mórtas im léana. Go speisialta tasí mu freisin, bhhuichas a ggóáil na cólach Guinness, as ochta nóíocht a tá tugach a dóin, der blianta nuas, agus atá ling inniu, brian ó dubig atá ling inniu an seachar an Ardán. Tá achas orm inis, tá achrú mar an gutin de gná slí a bhí agin, tá achas orm dús, Gwyn Adigid a bhronna captain Offaly, Johnny Dooley agus an imróí Offaly. Agus na dhéag sin bron for Corn McCarthy captain Kilkenny. So dús bara Gurbe Fáilte is Johnny Dooley.
This is a new touch. This is where the losers in the All-Ireland final will get their medals here today. And then in a little while, Willie O'Connor will come up and receive the Liam McCarthy Cup. I spoke with Willie actually in the dressing room before the match, and I said, we remember Eddie's speech back in 1993 where he went pleading for holidays and so on. And Willie said, if I get up there, I'll be saying very little. So let's see. Real disappointment for Michael Duigan and all the rest of the Offaly players. Beaten in the Leinster final, beaten now in the All-Ireland final as well. But at least they got here. And this was a championship where 18 contenders set out back in May. Joe Dooley, will we see him play again in the Offaly colours? His 50th championship match today. Simon Wheelahan, younger of the Wheelahan brothers who played, and of course Barry is also in the squad. There's Joe Erity, one of the men from Burr. Some of the subs going up to receive their medal. Kevin Martin is the number 7. I'm sure at this stage they just want to get down into the dressing room and more or less disappear and be with their own friends. John Troy, Barry Wheelahan. There's Brian Wheelahan. Wasn't a good day for him. But they have to accept their fate.
Agus Nishavini Ursula, the Wild Lumpo Gargas and all, the Curran Kilkenny, agus Captain McCarthy, Abrona, our Captain Willie O'Connor.
There's only one winner. It's a day for winners. Willie O'Connor takes the Liam McCarthy Cup. Sean McCaig making the presentation, and it's Kilkenny who are the champions once again. Champions now for the 26th time. They weren't going to be denied. Losing in the last 2 years was a bitter pill for them to swallow. But they're all sharing in the celebrations, sharing in the enjoyment of what is a wonderful moment for them.
In the last 6 years, this cup has wandered around and didn't know where it was going. Now it knows it's going home. And what has been the saddest year of my life, I would like to thank my family, club, all the players involved, and I hope Mammy is looking down today and is happy. I would like to thank all our backroom team, Mick O'Flynn, Joe, Niall. I hope I don't forget Ian Bill Cuddy, Noreen, our County Board, our superb supporters club, Shawnee Kelly, and the three men that made it all happen for us. Ger Henderson, Johnny Welch, and our manager, Brian Cody. I would also like to thank the people behind the scene, the mothers, the wives, the girlfriends, especially Nolan and my little girl Michelle. I would like to thank Offaly for a great game. Today was our day, and I'd like to give 3 cheers for them. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you!
Well, he said he would be brief, and he was. He thanked everybody. And a big cheer in particular, of course, for Brian Cody. This must bring back great memories for you, Liam, of 4 years ago.
Ah, yes, I mean, it's a wonderful occasion, and it doesn't matter how often you win it. You know, in your life you only get so many opportunities, and I'm sure Kilkenny, every single one of them related, particularly the guys who've been playing since '92 who didn't win an All-Ireland medal, like Peter Barry and Andy Comerford. So it's a huge for their fans. Pity they can't be in on the field. I really do feel that was so special for us.
Well, they're going to do their lap of honour. This is something we wouldn't have seen in the old days. It gives an awful lot of the fans, in fairness, a chance to witness the captain and the team going around the field. Everybody sharing in the delight. The end of the championship season. It's the end of hurling for this year at this level, and Kilkenny are the champions. Once again, let's go back down onto the pitch, and our reporter there is Marty Morrissey.
DJ, a wonderful day for you personally, great day for Kilkenny.
Oh, it's a fantastic day for Kilkenny, Marty. You know, we're there the last 3 years. We've produced great hurling the last 3 years. Last year we were beaten by better teams on the day. We have no complaints, but you know, it's great to put this one, especially for the people who are supporting us and ourselves that put in the big effort. You know, it's fantastic.
When I met you last week, we spoke about all the hype, about the pressure, but you kept saying you were very focused.
Yeah, well, I was never put under an ounce of pressure, Mark. I never put myself under, the management, the team. Nobody put me under any pressure whatsoever for the big performance on All-Ireland final. As far as I'm concerned, the ball goes right for you on some days, it doesn't on others. Thank God today it went right for Kilkenny.
Now we have to clarify one thing. First of all, congratulations. You definitely scored one brilliant goal, but did you score the second one, or was it gone over the line, do you think?
Marty, I wouldn't be claiming it. I would have felt it was probably in, but from where I was coming, it came out to me. I had to make sure, because there was no whistle gone at that stage. So I don't think I scored it. I think it's either an own goal or Henry got in, but it doesn't matter. As I have always said, no score matters once it go on the sheet.
I had to laugh with some of the hype.
Take it if you give it to me.
No, I think you're too modest to take it like that. I think that all the hype about you not scoring a goal in All-Ireland final was put to bed this evening.
Well, you know, again, I haven't put myself under any pressure for that. Other people, it's a media thing, not anything in Kilkenny. I think the people of Kilkenny were just delighted that over the years I made some contributions that got us to All-Ireland finals, and whether it didn't happen for me on the day or not, I don't know, but today, as I say, it's Kilkenny's day.
Well done to Kilkenny and indeed to DJ Carey. Pleasure. Well done.
Well, the team continue to receive the congratulations of their supporters. They're down there at Hill 16 at the moment. You can see the black and amber in full flight down there. We must take a commercial break. We're back after that with analysis from the panel, and we're also heading to Kilkenny, where the victory celebrations are already. The final has been decided for the year 2000, but we still have business to do here at Croke Park. We have analysis from Pete and from Tomas coming up a little bit later on, some more interviews as well. But right now, though, we're going to head to Kilkenny, down in Brannigan's Pub. They've enjoyed that. Not everybody had a ticket for the match, but they enjoyed it nonetheless, and Micheál O'Donnell is down with them.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. You're welcome to Kilkenny, the home of the new All-Ireland Senior Hurling Champions. Well, Kilkenny have been through the mill over the past couple of years with no All-Ireland. But Tom, I'm sure today makes up for the disappointments of the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yes, I think so. It's been a great day for Kilkenny, and they've had their homework done, and it's a bit one-sided, we'll say, from the outsider's point of view, but to me, Brian Cody had his work done, more than done, so...
Very good. PJ, what about you? DJ Carey's performance exceptional.
DJ was just brilliant today. He only really powered over on the best today.
And a final word from you, maybe a little commiseration, I'm sure, for Offaly.
Very much so, but I thought the match was it's an inspiration to young players all over the country, not just in Kilkenny, but to everyone. It was a clean match. They got out there and they got it. I think the man of the match definitely has to be DJ Carey!
Well, there you have it. The celebrations are only beginning. For the moment, back to you.
Okay, thanks Micheál very much. Now you're all to go home and leave it at that. The celebration can continue after your tea. Okay, captain today of the winning side, of course, is Willie O'Connor. Made a lovely little speech earlier on and he's talking to us now. I beg your pardon, we'll have that in just a moment. We have the statistics to look at before that, just to wrap up on the stats from the match. And what a scoreline. 5 goals and 15 points against Offaly's 114. There were 26 frees in it. There was 11 wides to Kilkenny and 9 to Offaly. Just 165 in the match and a total of 6 yellow cards handed out in the end. Okay, those are the stats, but the main statistic is, of course, that Willie O'Connor has the Liam McCarthy Cup heading back to Kilkenny tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a lovely feeling, Marty, but captain is only part of a team, and the biggest job I had to do today was carry the cup, and I'm delighted to do that.
It was a tough match. I know you, up at the other end, you certainly got your goals, but certainly down at the other end you were under pressure.
Offaly are a very good team, and it doesn't matter for 70 minutes. You're not going to hold any team off the field for 70 minutes. They're going to get their good spell as well.
Did you feel under pressure the last couple of hours before the game? The fact that all this hype about losing 3 All-Irelands in a row, did it ever bother Willie O'Connor?
No, Marty, last year is gone, the year before is gone, and they're going to keep looking back and never do nothing in life, and you can't do that.
I'd say there'll be wild celebrations in Kilkenny this week.
Well, I hope to see the biggest crowd ever in Kilkenny tomorrow night. We'll be looking forward to going back. We hated going back the last 2 years without the cup, but we'll be looking forward to it tomorrow.
Well done again. Thanks very much, Willie O'Connor.
Pete Finnerty and Tomas McCahey, as I said, have been watching that match with me. Pete, Offaly needed the goals in the second half. There was no doubt about that at all. But in fact, Kilkenny added another one to the list if there wasn't already enough nails in the coffin, I suppose.
Yeah, 10 points down at half-time. It was Offaly that needed all the green flags in the second half. But again, it was Shefflin that popped up again at the end of a long ball and put it in the back of the net. Kilkenny didn't really need it. We as neutrals needed it for the game to develop. Here we see Canis Brennan drives a big long ball into the square. And again, Shefflin in behind the cornerback, Simon Wheelahan gets the ball, does the simple thing, holds on to it until he gets a free boost and kicks it into the back of the net. Simon had a bad day, again, trying things to happen, going in front of the player, anticipating the ball and gets caught out in behind again. And when you give Shefflin or Carter or DG any of those opportunities, they're going to punish.
4 goals and 10 points to us from that full forward line for Kilkenny today.
Oh, it's fantastic finishing, and you just got to hand it to the likes of the DJs and the Charlies and things like that. But the outfield players will take a lot of credit as well as the type of possession that they were getting inside into the full forward line as well. And their half-back line today, Kilkenny's half-back line, I thought was fantastic. The 3 guys laid down the marker from early on and on. There was no balls going into the Offaly full forward line, and they really played their part in a great victory for Kilkenny.
Indeed, Pete, right from the off today, Kilkenny were in charge of this game all the way through.
They were, and all week there was nothing about Kilkenny. I remember a report coming there on Friday evening from Kilkenny City, and they were saying that there's no hype, there's no nothing, the supporters, all they want is a pint victory. And you could see it from the word go, they wanted the ball to get in. And I'm delighted for Brian Cody, I'm delighted for Charlie Carter, Phil Larkin. These guys, they're picking up their first All-Ireland. I remember this time last year, and those guys could hardly talk after the game, and they're a very proud county. 3 in a row. If Kilkenny were to lose 3 in a row, they could never go back there again and hold their heads high. And I'm delighted for those lads, because they're fantastic hurlers, and it was a fantastic exhibition of skill and pace and ability.
Liam Griffin was saying in the interview to us that, or in the commentary, that Offaly wouldn't begrudge it to them. Nonetheless, Offaly would have fought to the death to try and get something out of this game. They did get a goal in the second half. It just simply wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough, and I mean, you could have sensed after half-time when they had to move Brian Wheeler from his half-back position up to full forward line. They needed to get goals to get back in the game. They got one in the second half that added a bit of life to the game, and it was great play by Johnny Pilkington to get around there and get the boot to the ball that it finishes up in the back of the net. they needed more penetration around the square in the second half period and failed to get it. And maybe the writing was on the wall, as I said, when they had to move Brian Whelan out of the defence up to the full forward line. It showed that they were weak in their attack and they weren't penetrating.
One interesting thing about it all, Pete, is in the media generally during the week they were sort of calling it 50-50 and there wasn't too much choice, although Kilkenny were favourites, I suppose, at the final push in it. But from people within hurling, talking to hurlers, to former hurlers, they thought that Kilkenny would do something like this today, that they might skin them.
Yeah, well, there was conflicting reports. If you talk to any good hurler and who knew his sport, he was going saying that Kilkenny were going to win this one. Okay, it might have been closer than we thought it was. The public were thinking about Offaly and the reputation they have, that they never give in and they'll always be there to a finish. But Kilkenny, as I said, they were so focused today, they weren't going to lose this one. And they have such skill and abundance. That full forward line, if they're going to be around for the next few years, every full back line is going to be afraid of them. But then looking at the youth they have in the team, they brought in Noel Hickey this year, magnificent at full back. Eamon Kennedy, a tower of strength. I'm afraid we said last year Cork were the young team. Kilkenny are equally as good now.
As well as all of that, I mean, without harping to us on DJ Carey, nonetheless, if you have a star player on the side and he puts in a star performance.
Yeah, I mean, the start was everything for DJ and for Kilkenny today, and I mean, they would have said all week, get ahead of Offaly, don't allow them to get into the game, because we're trading point for point with 10 minutes to go. Offaly have proven in the past to be very effective. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you could see DJ was on his game. First touch, his possession of the ball was fantastic. And not alone just his awareness around the square and things like that, but his distribution, bringing other players into the game as well. I mean, the 3 goals in the first half maybe came from DJ up in that end, and it was a fantastic performance for him. He's laid the ghost to rest about all Ireland performances. He's given a very good performance today in what was a fantastic Kilkenny performance. Offaly on the day could have no answers about the defeat.
Also, Kilkenny had quiet heroes as well as the stars like DJ. Dennis Byrne today scored 4 points.
Dennis Byrne in the second half had a great game. Phil Larkin at half-back. This is the third Larkin to collect an All-Ireland medal. And Philly, I had doubts. He had a poor start to his Leinster final. He had a poor start the last day. He had a thundering start this day. He didn't give Brendan Murphy a look in at the game. Michael Cavan at the corner didn't do a thing wrong. The bowled Willie, maybe with a cracked rib, continued on there. Andy Comerford. They've so many stars, but as Tomas was saying about
James McGarry in goal as well.
James had a great game. But as Tomas said about DJ, like there was this myth that he didn't have good All-Ireland finals, and DJ is right there. He does so much throughout the year that he doesn't always have a great All-Ireland final, and players try and close him down from the opposition as well. I'm delighted he got rid of this ghost, and to go further, and maybe I'm still whinging about it, but he should have been on that team in the millennium. There's no question whatsoever about it.
Maybe he'll be on the team of the next millennium, because he's still going strong, obviously, in the year 2000. All right. Well, Kilkenny obviously delighted with their win today, but there has to be losers today. Unfortunately for Offaly, it was their turn, and Pat Fleury, who put in such an effort as their manager, I presume very disappointed. Let's hear.
Fleury, not a good day for you and indeed for Offaly. Where did it go wrong? How did it go wrong?
Well, I suppose, to be honest about it, when it came right down to it, Kilkenny seemed to want it far more than we did on the day. It was very, very obvious in their play from early on. And every time we even looked like staging some kind of rally, they went right back upfield and responded with more scores. And in the end, they ran out deserving winners, and we congratulate them and we salute them, and they're deservedly All-Ireland champions.
Their full forward line was the big problem for you. I mean, Carter, Carey and Shefflin posed major difficulties.
Yes, they certainly did. Well, they've been doing that for every team they played against all year, and it wasn't any different today. We were a bit unlucky perhaps too. There were a couple of little slip-ups that they took advantage of, you know. But they're that type of a full forward line. They're very sharp and they're right on their game this year, and they had the look of a winning team all year, I suppose. And it was going to take an outrageous effort from some team to stop them today.
Our commentary team today had statistical information suggesting that you had as many chances as Kilkenny, only the difference was Kilkenny were scoring.
Well, this is it, you know. Some days the chances go over for you. The last day, we'll say against Cork, we had only something like 4 or 6 wides or something like that. Today we had maybe a few more than that, you know. But you get chances, and on big days or on any big day, you have to convert them. You can't win unless you convert your chances.
When we met last week, Pat, you said that it was very difficult to put 2 really magnificent performances back-to-back, i.e. Offaly against Cork and today Offaly against Kilkenny.
Well, it is, and I think everybody knows that, you know. I mean, Kilkenny have come into this on the back of 3 comfortable enough victories, particularly in the first 2 games. Galway tested them in the first half, and they pulled away in the second half and won it reasonably comfortably in the end. And today, they were winning the game right from the start, and there was no stopping.
Well, Pat Fleury, thank you very much. Commiserations, and I no doubt Offaly will be back.
Well, I've no doubt about it. I've no doubt about it, Martin.
Indeed they will.
Yeah, Offaly will be back. Remember, their minors won the Leinster title this year, so the talent obviously is still coming through. The under-21s also had a decent little team this year as well. Pete Finnerty, having said all of that, and without sort of introducing the Grim Reaper onto the scene at whatever it is, 10 or 15 minutes after the All-Ireland final, but for some of the Offaly team, this may be the end of the road.
It may be the end of the road. We've spoken in the past and we said it might be the end of the road as well, but you have to look at what we saw today. We didn't see too many stars, young stars coming through there for Offaly, and you contrast that with what Kilkenny are bringing on in youth, and you'd say that in Leinster, Kilkenny are still going to be the most dominant team. Okay, Offaly did well at minor and under-21, but there's a huge transition. You're looking at guys 30 years of age, Brian Wheelahan and Kevin Keenahan and Johnny Dooley, and you're looking at a big vacuum in the middle, and how they're going to fill that vacuum is going to be their problem.
Yeah, because they've had this team together, Tomas, for quite a while now, and it does happen with teams that when it sort of fades away, there is this gap left after them then.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, and if there was maybe 3 or 4 to kind of call it a day, it would certainly leave a big void there. But I mean, I go back to Peter's point. I think their success at minor and under-21 is the key to this, right? I mean, Brian Wheelahan is still there. They're still going to have the backbone of a very solid team, but they've got to introduce the new blood and then introduce it quickly and persevere with it as well, you know, because you can't see the quality of a player over one game and things like that. You've got to blood new players and bring them into the panel and give them the experience of playing big matches and things like that. And I'm sure there's plenty of talent in Offaly, and I'm sure Offaly will be back again because there's some fantastic colours in there. There might be a two or three call a day, but there's still 12 to 13 of very, very good players, and they've given some very good entertainment this year in the semi-final. They look superb. And the hurling was absolutely fantastic, and that's why everybody had so many doubts coming into today's final that they could reproduce that form again. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for today, and I think they'll take heart over the minors and under-21s and start blooding these players, and they'll be back again.
I suppose also, Pete, I mean, looking at some of the more senior members of the team, for example, Johnny Dooley in the middle of the field today scored 8 points and played wonderful hurling. I mean, you weren't looking at the older guys and saying that they had let the side down today. I mean, Brendan Murphy, who was one of the young new stars of the team, he was taken off. Joe Dooley and Johnny Dooley poured on.
It was, and Tomas is right. They still have the backbone of a very good, strong team. And Kevin Keenahan showed us, okay, he mightn't have had a good day today. There's a lot of ball rained in on top of him. Kilkenny were all over the place in the full forward line, so you couldn't really blame him. But DJ hadn't a spectacular second half either. He got to terms with him in the second half. He wasn't beaten all over the place in the second half. But Offaly, it's that 22, 23, 24 years of age. That's where we're struggling. Now, Ger Oakley, I thought, did well. He got a lot of ball around the field. Now, he might have used it to the best of his ability, but he did well. But as you said, Brendan Murphy, be expecting more from him at this stage, and it's that transition period that we're going to get from young to old and consistently be able to stay with Kilkenny and consistently be able to compete in that All-Ireland semi-finals. But of course, if the back door survives much longer, they'll always be here on All-Ireland final day.
Yeah. Well, there's a few more doors, I think, opening up in the new proposals for the championship that may come into play next year. However, that's for another day. As you can see behind me here at Croke Park, it's all gone very quiet. The crowd have drifted away, but some of the Offaly crowd looking out over the wall here were drifting away, I'm afraid, 10-15 minutes before the end of that match. I wonder, leaving the ground, what the supporters thought about today's All-Ireland final.
Well, I thought all over the pitch, I thought it was badly around. Midfield, we lost it big time. Half over the full forward line never appeared to get going from the word go. I thought even at half time when it was over. But that's the way you go. You win some, you lose some. We got it in 98, Kilkenny got it here. We wouldn't begrudge them for the performance today. 3 in a row would have been sad for them. Having said that, when we were in the final, everybody wants to win. But well done to Kilkenny.
Well, I think it was one of the greatest displays in Kilkenny I've seen in a number of years, and they all deserved their medal after 3 years. There's too much 3 in a row for Kilkenny this year. This is the real Kilkenny team. Back at last.
Great. The half-back line. Half-back line, that's what we're going for. Oh, we'll be back next year. Yeah, I'm fair play to Kilkenny. They deserve to win. There was a lot of pressure on them. So there was, yeah. Fair play to Kilkenny, the Offaly supporters said. So good sporting spirit from your opposition.
Great game, yeah. I think Kilkenny won with the full forward line in the first 20 minutes, and I thought the backs were great. The half-back line were brilliant today. Philly Larkin, man of the match. Okay.
One man's opinion of who the man of the match should be. That's a decision for later on tonight in our later programme. Just briefly, Pete Finnerty, let's go back to earlier today. The minor All-Ireland final, their big day as well. Galway winning that one and putting 2 All-Irelands back to back.
Yeah, again, we're going to be going home tonight thinking what have we got to do to be able to perform like DJ and these guys are performing at that stage. Offaly, I don't think have won a minor. They haven't won a minor title since 1990. We've won so many at under 21. Now we're putting back-to-back together at minor, and still Offaly can come out here and entertain us week in, week out. There's something wrong with our setup, but from the lads who have won today, it's brilliant for them, and it must stand good stead to them. John Hardiman is making big inroads, and it won't be too long before you might see him out here in a senior final day.
Cork will be disappointed that they scored 4 goals in that final and still lost it to Moss.
Yeah, it was good scoring and things like that, but I had said that maybe kind of at the start or half-time of the morning again, we need to get a few more points. And I mean, Galway showed within the last 10-minute period when the game was in the balance, they were able to take their points and pull away from Cork at that stage. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing for minors, especially when you lose in Ireland. They think it's the end of the world, as well as the senior players thinking that way as well, But I mean, they're young enough to be able to come back again. And there's a few good performances there in Cork. And if we can get a few of those to go on and play under 21 and play senior level, I think it will be a big bonus for Cork. And we'll gain the rewards out, and we'll see some of these over the next number of years in Croke Park at senior level.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for that. OK, well, that's about it then from the first All-Ireland hurling final of the new millennium. Now, let me leave you with an invitation to join us again later on tonight, because we'll have highlights of the game, we'll visit the winners' banquet, and we'll be naming our man of the match from the final. So I hope you can join us for all of that, and that will be at 10 o'clock. All right then, it's been Kilkenny's day, and DJ has finally had his big All-Ireland final performance. Now, what a display that turned out to be. From Pete, Tomas, and from myself, bye-bye. Well, the panel will be announcing the decision presently. And mention of the panel, joining me in studio tonight, we have Cyril Farrell and Liam Griffin. I suppose everybody, including the Offaly players, Cyril, are praising Kilkenny on that performance today, and it's easy to see why.
Yeah, the best team in Ireland by a mile. They'll be delighted, I suppose, after the match, to be relieved to think to have this one, to go for 3 in a row defeats, which is a terrible hard thing to take. There was no doubt about it today. They got the perfect start. Early on, after 10 or 12 minutes, they were 2-4 to 2 points up. All over the pitch, they were on top. I thought their half-back line played brilliant. Full back line played very cagey. McGarry was brilliant in goals. Comfort had a fantastic game. Dennis Byrne popped his few points. Power and Hind worked hard. Hind is probably the new Power in the future. And inside, the trio inside, these guys are lethal. And once they got on top, got the ball in, it was a very simple policy. Get the ball in, the 3 boys, Charlie, DJ, Henry, they'll do the job, and they did.
There was the kind of fear, Liam, that some people had that because of this 3 All-Irelands in a row losing sequence that they might be facing, that this might stifle Kilkenny. If anything, it was the opposite that happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody in Kilkenny, I know, was very tense about this match. Yeah. They were really worried, and rightly so, because 3 in a row loss would be major for them. But they threw off the shackles early, and to be fair, they got an excellent start, and the excellent start settled them down. And after that, I mean, they were unstoppable. Let's be fair, they were unstoppable. And Offaly are a great side over the last 10 years, and, full credit to them, but they were unstoppable today.
OK, Cyril Farr, let's try and clear up one talking point out of today's game. This is the goal between Shefflin and DJ. Who got it is the question.
It doesn't matter who got it when it counts. Here you see, well, you're going to see Henry Shefflin here in his own. He's coming right in, and again, a Kilkenny forward goes for the goal. A great save by Stephen Byrne. Now, whether Claffey blocks or not, DJ comes in and makes sure. Now, here you're going to see the ball has to cross the line fully. Now,
all of the ball?
All of the ball. Comes across here. To my eyes, it didn't cross fully. So when it was actually kicked out by Claffey, DJ met it on the way in. Now, DJ at the interview after the match said he was given to Henry Shefflin. But in actual fact, if DJ didn't tip it in, it may not have been counted. But young Hine gave a great hand pass. Simon Whelan must have been ball watching. He was way off the man. Yeah. And again, Henry being a Kilkenny forward, he went for the juggler. He went for the goal. Great save of Byrne, and he was DJ coming in. That really set up. They were in the driving seat from there on.
DJ's goal for you, Liam?
Well, I think people I'd say it was DJ's goal no matter what happened. That'd be a bit unfair for Henry Shefflin, but I think it was DJ's goal because it didn't cross the line. And we all know DJ's very modest, and he always likes to supply. That's the one great difference between DJ Carey over all of the great forwards in the past. He has been totally unselfish, and he manifested again today, but I think it was DJ's goal, yes.
Yeah, well, this is the point about the whole forward line, because he was involved in some of the other goals as well, obviously. I mean, between them, what was it, 4 goals and 10 points?
Well, actually, if you take Eddie Brennan's contribution, it was 5-10, and 5-10 had to win 2 All-Irelands in a row. I mean, it was an incredible score from an inside forward line. Lethal, and it was tough on the Offaly full-back line. I mean, who would have stopped him today?
Yeah. They were absolutely brilliant. We're looking at some of the stuff here, and again, as I said, the contribution of the 3 of them, not just in getting the scores, but working for each other as well.
Henry Shefflin, for me too, had a magnificent game as well, and so did Charlie Carter, who's been a great servant of Kilkenny. But Henry Shefflin, young player, he had a magnificent game, and that was a great goal from him, and he caught a good high ball and buried it in the back of the net. Canis Brennan's delivery, of course, made that goal.
Yeah, that was a super goal. There's DJ's, the first goal of the match, and the typical classic DJ score.
2 of them off his left hand today. Right hand the last day, left hand.
And points as well.
Yes. The point he got off his back.
Okay, well that was the forwards, that was the full forward line in full flight. But Cyril Farrell, obviously, in a win, it can't be about just 3 forwards. There were other impressive performances around
the backs are very good, and this Peter Barry really is impressing me. He doesn't get much praise, but he's always under the high ball, very good reading the game, great in the air, but like a great man to read it. And then he winds up a lot of the time on his own. Here again, you see him here now, he's forcing his way up midfield. I'd say he's thinking of the scope himself, goes past, and now he doesn't really go to hand pass to him, but at the same time, he's driving forward. Again, he's here in the right spot, gets bottled up, going to give a hand pass out again. You know, he's always around the breaks. Kit out hurler, a lot of Kilkenny ones, somebody like Frank Cummins gets it away. Now, he was one of the half-back today, himself and Kennedy and Larkin. They really had great games, and they mopped up everything, gave a great supply up. With Comerford, they were the engine of the team, really, whereas they may not get the credit like the forwards do.
Philly Larkin, again today, following in a great family tradition, Liam. And as well as that, a player that a lot of people are looking to in an All-Ireland final and asking for a performance.
Yeah, and a lot of years. I mean, the record stands, and they've played some wonderful hurling. And you have to bear in mind the pick they have. And as Cyril says, like, it's a small pick, but they have produced some of the most elegant hurlers the last 10 years. And for my money, it's sad they lost, but there's no shame in that. Their contribution to hurling has been enormous.
Ross McGrain of Dublin, in actual fact, was 72. 1990 final when Cork scored 5-15 in that match too. Okay, so plenty of figures for you to chew over there. Well, in Kilkenny, however, there's only one figure that they're interested in, and that's the 5 goals and 15 points that they scored to win today's game. Reaction from Kilkenny with Micheál O'Donnell in a moment.
Work here, so we're just getting involved in all the activities and celebrations, so absolutely fantastic.
We're from Pembrokeshire in South Wales. We're here now to watch the All-Ireland hurling competition, and we're supporting Kilkenny because we come here regularly.
Your feelings at this stage?
Marty, we are relieved, obviously. You know, there was a lot of pressure on us today to get out and perform and to bring home the McCarthy Cup to Kilkenny. A lot has been made of the last 2 years and losing the 2 All-Ireland finals. But we didn't look upon that in a negative way at all. We realised that to get to 2 All-Ireland finals in a row simply proves that we are a very good team.
Welcome him here to the City West Hotel.
PJ Delaney shared in the disappointments of the last 2 years with all of his teammates here. And, you know, there was a clip of PJ there scoring a goal back in '93 for Kilkenny in All-Ireland final. You know, he was just in the prime of his hurling career when he had that awful, unfortunate incident happen to him. And certainly, you know, you see it from reaction there from all Kilkenny people that everyone is thrilled to see PJ here with us tonight.
Indeed.
The poor old farmers have to work every day, but what can we do? You might throw me a few bob and decide going out tonight maybe, but
yeah.
Jolly, and Noah Skeen was there and he won 9, which is a record that'll never be surpassed, and Noah Skeen was a tremendous help to me down the years, and I'd like to thank him as well.
About pressure, Bill, but you didn't feel it?
I know there's pressure going out on the day, like there's pressure, it's All-Ireland final day, but you just deal with it, and as soon as the match starts, usually the pressure goes, things go right.
And of course, what's very special, not everybody around the country might know this, Philip, but this is the 3rd generation of the family to win All-Ireland medals. Just go through the tally for us.
Yeah, well, the grandfather has 4, Paddy, the father, son over there has 5, and sure, I have 1 now anyway, so I'm happy.
Michael Kavanagh and Philly Larkin.
I'm on All-Ireland final day, and it didn't.
We're here in Sydney, 12,000 miles away, makes it a little unique. This town is getting ready for the Olympic Games, but for the Irish here at the Aussie Rules Club in King's Cross, the hurling final is the event.
And as you can see, everybody here.
Man of the match. The winner receives our specially commissioned Waterford Crystal Trophy and his and her watches. And the winner is Cyril Farrell.
Well, they may talk of great hurlers of the past, but for me, the present-day Culcullen has to be DJ Carey. He's out of this world, and the one thing about him, he's able to accept the hero status. He has the highs and the lows, back and high again. Fantastic display.
Liam Griffin, you would agree with that, I have no doubt.
No, absolutely, I'd agree with that. I said before he was as good as Christy Ring, and I stand over that. I think he's one of the all-time greats, and I'm absolutely delighted with DJ Carey tonight. And he answered his critics fairly resoundingly.
DJ Carey, our man of the match. Let's go back down to City West.
Congratulations, DJ. Thanks very much. Well done indeed. Well, just come in a small bit here, DJ, because to do it officially, this Man of the Match presentation, I'd like to welcome Mark Lee, the sponsorship manager from Guinness, Ireland, with a special prize which you can open and see later. We won't reveal now, but also, can I also present you officially with this magnificent vase. We can put it down, but it's RTE Sport Man of the Match 2000. A rather unique achievement. And just in case, DJ, you're late for training, watch, and for herself, above all else, another one. Now, DJ, what a day for you and for Kilkenny.
Yeah, it's, what can I say really, I'm a bit choked at the moment, but it's a great occasion, absolutely fantastic. Right from the off, you know, we were determined this year, but determination will win some things, it won't win everything. You have to have the level of skill, the level of commitment, not alone on the field, but it has to be there off the field as well, and you know, I'm thrilled for everyone involved.
Certainly today, when the people started shouting, DJ, DJ, what is that like? That is so unique.
Marty, a lot of people say that, but honestly, on the field, you don't hear anything, and I didn't hear anything today. I listen to it on the television if it's there, and you know, it's fantastic. It's the end of our year. It's the greatest occasion that any GAA player can play in, is an All-Ireland final, and you know, I'm lucky now to have played in 6, and thank God we got the 3rd one today.
Well, a couple of years ago, DJ Carey, you saddened us all when you decided to retire. Say a few Offaly lads would be glad if you stayed retired after today. DJ Carey, man of the match in the All-Ireland final of 2000. Congratulations to Kilkenny. Congratulations to DJ from City West Hotel in Saggart. Back to you, Michael, in the studio.
Absolutely, what a player. It's been a privilege over the years to watch that man play hurling. Well, all through the season, our video diary item has been following some of the cream of the crop in hurling as they've built up to the big games. Right now, we're going to have a look back at some of the moments from that video diary item, and also perhaps one or two of the moments that they might not necessarily wanted us to show you.
That's it, because there's no key. Alright. Wait a second there.
You have to be out there to understand what it's like. It's brilliant.